Mission First Tactical is a proud sponsor of the Talking Lead podcast and the Leadhead Brigade.
And then just getting up the next day and heading over to the range. It's an 8-hour class. So
that'd be fun.
That will be fun.
Yeah.
I hope I'm ready for it.
Have you been to the new range there, Outpost Herman?
Yeah.
It's not that impressive.
I'll just say I like I don't need an indoor range. I like to step up, shoot out the bathroom window or whatever. But I get it. Sometimes that's all you got. I don't like, the range is nice. I haven't been on the range yet. The building, as far as the retail area, I don't like it at all.
You're not digging it? It's open. It's wide open.
Yeah, one reason I get it for its appeal to buyers, especially new buyers and women and so forth. I get it. And I see a great mix of people in there, which I think is awesome when I go in. Yeah. But I hadn't been in there in a year and a half. So I've found myself going to Christiana once a month, once every other month, because they had the best ammo inventory down there. And I actually think they have, I don't know that the
What's in
firearm
Christiana?
Inventory has really improved that much. What's that?
What's in Christiana?
Well, they used to be there at the Barrett exit.
Oh, you're talking about down there, their old store.
The Outpost, right.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
There's nothing down there now.
No, there's nothing there. But
yeah,
I'd like driving down there. And back when they first opened, they actually had a restaurant. Way back in the early days. But
yeah, I remember
before
that.
They moved,
it's been a while.
They had the best ammo inventory. If I wanted something really neat for 223, 308, whatever, 12 gauge, bulk ammo. Bulk ammo was a little pricey, but as far as inventory, they had a great selection. Now they don't have anything. But most people, retail, don't sell ammo now because you can buy whatever you want online.
Yeah, you usually get a lot better deal online. But
yeah.
I mean, you could have done that back then, too, when they were doing it, too. But I don't know. I guess they changed their philosophy once they moved to that store.
That's exactly what's happened, yeah.
Prentice, you got a light you can turn on?
Yes, sir.
You're dark. I mean, your tree's pretty and all, but...
I'm making up for the light. I've got the Whoopi Goldberg ghost light going on here.
Let's see. Hold on just a second.
He's really got the Patrick Swayze thing going on.
Yeah, he does. He's got the ghost going.
How's that?
Let's run with that.
All right.
That really made a big difference.
Yeah, that made it a whole lot better.
Cool.
Whole lot better. All right, let's get this thing started. All right, lead heads, welcome back, and I hope everybody's having a great Turkey Day, because this is our Thanksgiving edition of the Talking Lead podcast. I'm your host, Lefty, here at the Talking Lead podcast, where we have been leducating the uneducated for damn near 11 years now. Tommy, can you believe that?
It's been a while, yeah. I was one of your first guests.
You were.
And at an undisclosed location, and it's been 9 years, 8 or 9 years since I've been on here.
Wow, that's too long.
Yeah,
you're overdue.
That's probably best for your show that I'm not on here.
I don't think so.
You're scraping the bottom of the barrel tonight, man. Have me here.
So that voice that you hear, lead heads, for those of you who aren't seasoned veteran lead heads, you're new to the show. That is TNOUTDOORS9. He is one of the OG YouTube gun reviewers, ammo reviewers. He was around, you got started before we got started, didn't you?
Yeah, I started about 2009, and it really came into play 2011, 2012, and 13. Yeah. Then I think I met you in 2013.
Yeah, we started in 2012.
At a rally.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, gun rally. It's you and Hickok, and I don't know if Yeager was there or not, but there was a bunch of the YouTubers back in that day were around from Tennessee.
Yeah, Gun Blast was there. I met those guys. Yeah. First time I met them, they were great. We met Miss Jeff. Met those guys. Yeager was not there. Linkster was there. You and Zeke were there. There was probably several others, but that was February of 2013.
Yeah.
March,
Yeah, it sure was. So go check his YouTube channel out. It's TN, as in Tennessee, TN Outdoors 9. And is it okay to say your name, Tommy? People know you by Tommy nowadays.
It is.
Don't
Yeah,
they?
that's the fake name. That's perfectly fine.
That works good. And then also joining us this special Thanksgiving Day episode is our good buddy and newest sponsor to the show, Whiskey River Beef, Prentice Holt, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, Marty. Hey, Tommy. It's good to be back on.
Chris.
Well, it's good to have you back on, and there's a reason why we have you on, and we're going to get into that here in just a little bit. Prentice has a big announcement that we're going to make, and we're going to get this show started. So let's roll into it. I mean, we got a lot of catching up to do, Tommy. It's like you said, it's been 9 years plus since we really sat down and had you on, and you've taken a little break from the YouTube during that time too, and you're kind of making your way back.
Yeah, you say break. I've hit the pause button 5 or 6 times. So I've broken finally Brett Favre's record for leaving and coming back,
retiring and coming back, coming out of retirement.
Come back, yeah. What is this? November. I've posted 13 videos since Labor Day. So in 10 weeks, and some of them are not worth a crap, I'll tell you. I posted 13 videos in 10 weeks. That's more videos than I posted total from, 2017 through 2022. So that's the kind of how it works. It's a hobby. It's not it is kind of a lifestyle, but it just combines my passion for photography, videography, which was pretty much self-taught, firearms, which was self-taught. So yeah, it just combines those two elements. It's a hobby, and when there's time, the videos bubble up, the creativity bubbles up, and maybe I get bored. So we'll see how long I can make this chapter last. I've said it before. When I walk away, I'm done. This might be it. I've got too many other things I want to work on and focus on. So when this chapter's done, this is probably going to be the last call for real. So I'll go ahead and say that. That's why I want this to last as long as I can. I've got a couple of dozen projects on the board right now. The pace of 4 videos a month is not going to continue. That just can't happen for weather and work and a lot of other reasons. But
yeah,
I do want to stay engaged. That's the other thing, is I just like all the people that I've met. I felt detached from those people by not being engaged.
Sure.
And I just kind of, I guess, feel a little guilty that I'm not contributing at times where I might have something to contribute, a voice or, that type of thing.
Well, and that's the thing. Your voice, when you first started to when you took your first break or, whatever it may be, your voice was still out there and people were still watching your videos and, they're still going back and watching your older videos. And, I don't know if you still keep up with that to people are still commenting. Do you still go and, engage with those or what? But, it's like you never left because you've been there. People have
Right.
been able to go back and watch your older videos. And then, like you said, from time to time, you'll go and post one. But here recently, you've been on a tear and, it's been noticed. It hasn't gone unnoticed that, don't call it a comeback or, whatever, but because he never left.
I think the accurate terminology would be a check-in.
A check-in.
It's a check-in. As I said, I'm not going to be bashful saying that whenever this next segment, if you see a period of 6, 7, 8 months where you don't hear from me, I may have turned off the lights.
Nah.
So
it's just,
and I really don't want to do that. And Hickok and I talk about it all the time. He says, just post something every 3 or 4 months.
Just post something whenever you want to. Whenever you feel like it. Because like you said,
I want to keep it going.
For you, it's a hobby.
Yeah, I want to keep it going as long as I can.
Yeah, for you, it's a hobby, and just do it for as long as you're enjoying it. And then once the joy goes away,
I could do this once a month or 2 or 3 times a month, and just sit here in the room and talk and have live stream and invite people in. I'm certainly receptive to that.
Yeah,
and taking whatever heat needs to be thrown at me or whatnot, or just get people's opinions. I like that. I like that type of environment, like what we have here right now.
Yeah.
Maybe that's another chapter to do something like that. What we would talk about, I don't know, but I
can help you with that.
I'd be a decent host. I want to listen more than I want to talk, and that's hard to believe. But That's what I do for a career is I listen and try not to talk as much when I'm speaking with folks.
Well,
usually works out better that way.
That's what podcasts are for. It's for talking.
Exactly. So, I mean, how many podcasts are doing this now? I mean, I remember when y'all were doing Ballistic Radio back in the day.
Oliver is a personal protection and security specialist. He cut his teeth as a United States Marine before leaving the Corps to provide private contract work for agencies outside the military. In private security work, he's always looking for the upper hand and unexpected advantage. Kel-Tec's P50 provides all of that and then some. This innovative pistol chambered in 5.7 has a 50-round magazine capacity in its semi-automatic platform. Its small caliber, high-velocity ammunition is a great personal protection round and is even used by law enforcement agencies and the Secret Service. Oliver likes that the P50 has an AR-like charging handle and that it can be slung for access and shooting stability. The P50 comes fitted with a threaded barrel if he wants to add a suppressor, and the upper and lower Picatinny rails let him accessorize it with lights and optics. This pistol, it redefines cool. Innovation, performance, Kel-Tec.
But I think that kind of gets into how some of YouTube has changed. There's different types of ammo tests now. If there's ammo reviews, there aren't that many like what I have done in the past.
Yeah.
For me now, they are very expensive to produce. I mean, ammo cost is what it is. That's not the big thing. Big thing is time. And since the check-in began a couple of months ago, people are saying, "Well, let me send you this." Like, no, that won't work. And I'll say, I really need 150 rounds for this to be a review. Well, I think that kind of shuts down the conversation.
Yeah.
People will send you 6 or 8 rounds of ammo, but I need 3 boxes minimum for a lot of reasons. Not to hoard it, but I mean to actually use it in the video.
Well, I mean, even 3 boxes isn't enough to do a thorough test on ammunition. You need a case or 2 cases.
Rounds.
Yeah,
exactly. A case or 2. And I'm never going to ask for that, but I'm not going to take the donations anyway, because then that kind of gets me on a calendar. I have enough calendars to manage. I don't need any more.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, and that's the time thing. And some people the last week or 2 on Instagram or YouTube said, "Hey, why don't you try this or that?" I'm going, well, okay, I own that caliber, but you're looking at several days of my time when I can plug it in. And the way I've done ammo reviews, it might take 4 weekends to put one together.
Yeah. And
then I look at, okay, that's the only chance I have. Then what am I losing with that? What am I losing if I do it during the week? It's a time thing. There's not going to be a return on it. YouTube's not going to monetize it. And if they do, it's not going to.
YouTube's not going to monetize it, but you could monetize it. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's the other thing. If I had sponsorships, and that gets into a second job, and I am going to stay away from that.
Or you quit the other job and you do that full time.
Well, doing this in this industry for a living would be fantastic.
Yeah.
Would be fantastic. But I'm going to have to have the same financial standards as what I have now.
Yeah.
And it's going to be hard to meet that without technically working for, a few dozen companies and doing things for them, which I could manage that if that's a full-time job.
You could do it. You definitely
where I am in my life right now, and with the opportunities I have in my career, it's best to run that career really with the opportunities I have there for another 6, 7, 8 years.
Yeah.
Maybe longer, 10, and then pack up everything. Say the heck with it.
Well, I mean, that's something you gotta weigh.
It's not in my vocabulary. Yeah,
but you know enough people that do the YouTubing and have made lots of money at it that, I mean, you know how to go about doing that if it's something that you wanted to do. There's plenty of people that could guide you and show you how to do that. If that's something that I'm
going to be a hard negotiator as well, but that if it ever reached that point,
that's fine. But you built the reputation to where you could get that money. You could get, you demand the money that you would get because of the expertise that you're bringing and the popularity that you're bringing. So you could definitely
it goes
pull
back
it off.
To the content. The content is what is going to bring people in, and I do think that the demographics of channels has changed a lot. Just not obviously in the last 10 or 12 years, but I think just the last 3 to 5 years. When I look at when I'm searching for something, and if I'm looking for a good visual or good video, I really appreciate the people who do that. What I see now with ammo reviews, there's some people who are making an effort to do it right.
Yeah.
As close as they can, as close as we can as amateurs with the resources we have to get close to what I would call pseudoscience. It's not going to be perfect. But I think a lot of people now, they're taking clear ballistic blocks, and it's really become more entertainment. I mean, it has.
Well, sure.
It's become more entertainment with the ballistic blocks, the ballistic torsos.
Sure.
I'm running across channels I've never heard of, have a pretty good subscriber base. They do well in front of the camera. They're putting forth an effort and investing time and money. But I just see a lot of that type of thing with regard to quote unquote ammo reviews now. It's really become entertainment, which changes the demographics. I mean, I don't have the record for age demographics that Hickok has. I think he brings in the 85 to 95-year-old demographic better than anybody.
Yeah.
But my demographic, and I checked the other night, it's no surprise. It's basically the 45 to 65 demographic. The 21, 30, 35-year-olds, they're not going to watch my crap. They're just not.
Yeah, they will. Yeah, they will. They absolutely will. And here's why they will do that. Because you have the knowledge. And if somebody is going to you and they're going to your channel, they're not going for, per se the entertainment. They're going for the knowledge. And I think that's what a lot of these channels are missing these days is they're focusing too much on the entertainment aspect and not the education. Where you bring,
I agree with that 100%.
Yeah,
that's basically what I was saying as well. So you're recognizing that.
No, but you could bring a little more entertainment to your reviews, but at the same time, your education is going to be there. So I think you could very well capture that demographic with no problem. It'd just be a little tweaking with, like you said, getting some ballistic gels and dummies and,
yeah, it's just
get me out there as your comic relief and
investment. Yeah, I've got a couple of folks in law enforcement who are looking to donate some pretty substantial quantities of ammo for some testing and maybe underwrite the cost of a block or what. And I said, that's all great. Trust me, that all helps. But the biggest piece of my investment in a review like that is the time. I don't think people realize, because I'm so meticulous, I'm just overly meticulous about it.
You are.
I've got a standard that I've set. 'Cause I know I've got a lot of people specifically in law enforcement who are looking at what I'm doing and reaching out to me and so forth. So I have this crazy network of people in law enforcement and in training and so forth that I've met, which is just something I did not expect when this started. I mean, I met folks like you here and Prentice and everybody else, but to meet some people that are, writers and publishers and training and their credentials in law enforcement, just impeccable.
Oh,
Most people are reaching
phenomenal.
out to me.
Yeah, it's phenomenal.
That's just great. I mean, the gentleman I mentioned a moment ago, when I go to his class, I won't talk about it a lot here. I reached out to him and said, hey, when you're in town, can we have like a 10, 12-minute interview? He said, yeah. So I've already got questions for that.
Yeah.
They're not softball questions either, but I don't want to go too deep with the time. But again, I'm looking forward to that and being an interviewer, asking the question, stepping out, let him have the space. That's my vision of that. And maybe that's something I could do here is set up I'm not going to compete with you. So don't worry about that.
Bring him on here and we'll do it together, man. I would love to do that interview.
Yeah.
I think that would be awesome.
That's not my space, but yeah, I'm happy to talk to people because I want to ask questions. I mean,
this is the perfect platform for you to do that, Tommy. So anytime you got something like that you want to set up, let me know.
So this hit the mailbox today. So there's today's USCCA. Okay.
So he's holding up the Concealed Carry magazine there for you listeners.
There it is. So this is the November, December issue. So I'll look at this and, how many thousands of people get this, but there's so many topics in here. So the topic this month, those of you who can't see it, it's the single stack issue. I mean, to me, that's a whole topic right there. So they're talking about 9mm, and being the nerd that I am, I recognize the ammo in there as the, hell is it? That's the Hornady. No, it's not.
That the gold?
Shame on me. That's the crap. That's the Federal Hydra Shock D. I'm looking at it. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah. Yeah, I remember the
Hydra shot.
conversation with you and Zeke, 10 years ago when he had that crappy critical defense ammo
The
in
zombie.
his 40. Remember that? How
The
embarrassing.
The zombie
So
of the
anyway,
green tip.
He had the zombie. He had the zombie max ammo.
I still
His
have
40.
that box of ammo. I still have it.
We ought to. Yeah, well, that's probably the safest place for it.
Yeah,
so,
it was a
I look at
novelty.
this, and I was browsing through it, and I did browse the Instagram questions. So if you plan on getting to those,
we're going to do that towards
I've
the
been
end.
doing a little bit of research. Yeah, but just the topics in here about single stacks and 9mm and the myths. I've got something there to throw out. So, I mean, there's good topics right here that can be top of line that you just basically, for an hour, sit down and say, hey, let's invite people to share thoughts. You put comments in, then you got something archived, come back to. It's free form. I want to hear people's opinions.
Yeah.
And my protocol is not to come back and say, well, I disagree with that. I'm going to say, I'm curious why you are doing that or feel that way.
Yeah. Expound upon that. Yeah.
I mean, oh my gosh, look at he's holding up a gun. So you told me to show and tell, right?
Show and tell. I said, bring your show and tell,
Okay.
baby. So yeah.
So I'm reviewing this. I'm working on it now, and it's just a matter of time to get it done. Hopefully by the end of the month, into November, we'll see.
So what are you holding up there?
What is this?
Yeah, what are you holding up?
Yeah, this is, I don't want people to feel dangerous on the other side of the screen, right? So it's clear.
You want to get banned from YouTube?
Great.
Fuck YouTube.
So this is the 9mm Shield Plus. So the micro gun, the micro 9, micro anything is a real topic, I think. I'm already thinking about how to open the video. I've already got some footage for it. And again, it just takes me a minute to put stuff together because I'm just obsessed with it. Anyway, but I've had this for about 2 years. So I guess the joke here is a man walks into the Glock store for the first time. What does he do? He buys a Smith & Wesson Shield. So that's what I did. I'm sorry, Lenny. But
I mean, if he sells them.
When they finally open in Nashville, I walk in, and I'm like the only person in there. It's like, the walk of shame, and didn't have any witnesses. But I bought a Smith & Wesson Shield. Do I carry this?
Store.
No. So I guess my point is when I review it, hopefully in the comments, the craze of this, the industry is really pushing these. You do gain things with the micro 9. I've owned micro and subcompact 9s. I had Glock 26s coming out my rear end 20 years ago. I mean, I had 5 or 6 of them, sold them all. 4 or 5 years ago, I bought a Glock 43, which I thought, I'll just say, I love Glocks. Y'all know that. I thought the Glock 43 is a piece of crap. It just felt like a water gun with a 9mm barrel on it. Okay. It just, thank you, Prentice. He's nodding in agreement. It just didn't work for me. So then I bought a Glock 48. It's like, I kind of like the size, but I don't like that single stack flat. And I didn't like the aftermarket mag. Sorry. This, if the Shield 2 compact 4-inch barrel was available 25 years ago, my Glock journey may not have ever happened. This is freaking, people compare this to the Hellcat and everything else. I'm not doing the review now. Sorry for that. But this is a topic. It's a topic. Micro 9, what do you gain? What do you give up? All the millions of new gun owners in the last, 3-4 years? How many of them bought 9mm for the first time? Most. Mm-hmm. How many of them went with the compact? A lot of them. Because the industry is telling them to do that. Well, you give up some things with this as well. But to me,
a lot of
so
them
far,
were females
it's
too.
dirty. You can pick it up because I had it out yesterday or day before. But this is great. But anyway, that's show and tell number 1. So, but that's a topic.
That's a topic. But that's the thing too. The micro. You talk about the micro, and that's something new. That's within the last 2 years. It came out to where you get compact, you get subcompact, now you got micro. You got a whole other category that's been created within the past, couple of years, and people are jumping on it. Canic's got one out now. They've got a micro out. Have you shot a Canic yet, Tommy?
No, and I have not. And truth be told, when I bought this, when I bought this, of course, I had not shot it.
Yeah.
But I went to several dealers and I just kind of held, and I went to dealers who knew me.
Yeah.
So when I walk in and say, can I stand here and hold this? Can I do a trigger pull?
Sure.
I'd ask. I'm not just the guy walking in doing a trigger pull in a gun store. That's a whole episode right there. So I said, I'm really shopping for a micro. It's not my thing, but I'm going to have one. And this is the one that to me just felt good in the grip. It felt good in the build. It felt good in the balance. And these are things I'll talk about in the review. I'm going to shoot the crap of it in the review. That's I've already been doing footage for that. What does that convey to somebody? Well, it shoots, okay, but I'm going to try to share some thoughts in it. But this, to me, I've never been a fan of SIGs. I've tried them. I've tried them at Hickok's house. I've tried SIGs.
Yeah.
I have not tried the Hellcat as far as shooting. To me, this passed the test for me just by picking it up.
Yeah.
Just and getting the grip on this. That's why, I'm fighting not to go out and buy 2.0 Smith compact 4-inch barrel in 9mm and also 40. Okay. I think the 40 in this would be a rock star. And that's a whole nother topic, is the 40 caliber. So, but this.
You just lost a lot of listeners just then, but that's okay.
Yeah. And I dropped my mag. So, that's the 10-round mag. And then you run the 13-round mag. And I found a 15-round mag the other day, went back and visited Lenny, spent some money, and found a 15-round mag. Was it a 15? Yeah. Like, are you kidding me? So then you're playing a game where, oh my gosh, I've got the capacity that I have in my Glock 19. It's compact. It feels good. It shoots. Will this replace my Glock 19?
I don't know.
The earth will stop when
Do
that
this.
happens, but
Do this for me. Hold your hand up in front of the camera. Prentice, hold your hand up.
I don't have big hands.
No, here's the thing.
No jokes.
Follow me on this, okay? So guns are like shoes. Everybody's feet are different sizes, different shapes. That's why they make so many different sizes and shapes and brands of shoes. I can't wear Nike. I've never been able to wear Nikes. They just don't feel good on my feet, where some people swear by them. That's all.
You're not supposed to. You're too old.
even when I was younger, I couldn't wear Nikes.
Well, yeah, I mean.
But that's the thing.
Yeah,
that's why they
I
make
get your point.
different guns have different shapes and different feels to different people. So you're saying that fits you great, and that's all well and good. And it's great that you do these reviews and you point out all these features and the weight and the balance and but that's for you and that's for your hand. So if somebody's got a similar type, then yeah, it's going to be great for them. But somebody else, that Glock might fit perfect, or that Canic might be perfect for them, or that Hellcat that you said could be perfect for them.
Right. I mean, I've been shooting Glocks since 1991. So
yeah, me too. I love
my first Glock was not a Glock 19. It was a Glock. It was a Glock 22 and 40. So it was.
Mine was too.
I guess
that was my first gun.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah.
Back in the day when there were 3 gun stores in Nashville. So you told somebody I'm going to the gun store, they knew which.
This is a 27. This is a 27.
Okay. Yeah.
I like 40s, man. I love the 40.
I love 40. I mean, I'll probably review the Gen 3 Glock 23, which the market for that today is the used gun market. It's not something you're going to go buy new, not likely.
Yeah.
The space for that, and that's the other thing, is the utility and the demographic of who's going to buy this gun has evolved. So you have all the Gen 5s, which I don't care for the Gen 5 Glocks. I just don't.
I like my Gen 5.
Just don't. I'll buy.
I like my Gen 5 19.
I'll buy 2 more. You have a Gen 5 19?
I like my Gen 5 19, yeah.
I've tried them. I've had Gen 4s and I've sold them. I've had Gen 4 19s and 23 and I sold them. But I'll just say this. I'm more likely to go buy a Shield Plus. Well, I wouldn't buy it. I might not buy it. I would buy a Shield 2.0 compact, which for some people is too big. I get it. On how people carry today, appendix and everything else. I get that. And body sizes and hands, all those things you talk about. Absolutely. That's what we have to look at.
And then that's why they make, Tommy, that's why they make Dremel tools also. So this is my 23, not 23, yeah, 23, 40.
Yeah.
And okay. I dremeled the grip because I hate it. This is a Gen 3.
Okay.
And I journaled that.
I'm gonna have to.
Stippled.
You're gonna force me to draw. You're gonna force me to go to my holster. All right. Ammo popped up on the laptop. Fantastic. Hope that came through good. So this is clear. This is that's the 19 I carry pretty much all the time.
Yeah.
Just did a video with it. Surprise. This is the RTF2 frame. That's another thing I like about the Gen 3s. Where's my camera? It's probably out of focus. But this is the RTF2 frame. There we go. Some lighting.
Yeah.
This is other than the Smith frames, this to me is the best out of the factory frame on a handgun that I've tried. Not talking about 19 and 11s. We're talking about striker fire. And I think that's actually one of the questions in the Instagram chat about striker fire versus 1911. So there's another tangent. But this 19, you mentioned Dremel work. I have done a little bit. I used a hand file on this. You won't be able to see it, but I used a hand file because of that, what they call the Glock knuckle.
Yeah.
The Glock knuckle is real. I mean, my hands
are a real thing. Yeah.
So I've been shooting Glocks for 32 years now. So, in every caliber basically. So, even after holding that Shield Plus and then picking up the 19, which is obviously thicker grip, that's still, if you're watching the video, I'm not aiming at the camera, so y'all are safe. So
aim at the camera.
People like, oh my God, he aimed at the camera. So and there's nobody else in this room, so I'll share that. This is the bonus room. It's my office. It's everything else. But even when I transitioned from the Shield Plus to the Glock 19, I guess it's because muscle memory. I just freaking lock in. That's just. So, all right, now we got guns everywhere. I got rifles up here, too.
That's part of it, though, man. It's training, too. You got to train with what you're going to run with, too. So you do have that muscle memory. So if you get a new carry, then you got to train with it.
It's a thing where, red dots. I think I was at Plinkster's house, 22 Plinkster's house. What you got? If you hold it up, I'll guess what that is.
That's what I was going to see if you could guess what it is. So I'm holding up a 40.
Silver tip?
Yeah, 40.
40 silver tip. 165 or 180?
This is 165.
Okay. Probably, I don't know. I've never owned that particular one. Let's see. Maybe 1,100 feet per second, 1,120. I don't know how hot they load that. Winchester's usually pretty good on their velocity.
That's Winchester.
Let's say 1,130 feet per second.
Yeah, that's a Winchester.
You have the box?
Not handy, I don't.
Yeah. Okay. I'm guessing. That's pretty bad. I got that crap in my head. He's holding up a silver tip. He identified it. Okay. Make sure Zeke knows that. What's the velocity? I'm going to guess 1,130. 468 foot-pounds muzzle energy. Yeah, that's my myth
right there.
By the way, is muzzle energy. So anyway.
Let's do this. We want to talk more. We're going to talk more about. We're going to talk more about your knowledge and the ballistics and all that. We'll get to listener questions. But first, I hear something. I hear that train rolling in. Tommy and Prentice, you hear the train? Here it comes. So, Gunny, bring that train in.
There's actually a track about a mile from here. I do hear it.
Hoorah, Semper Fi, do or die, hold 'em high at 8th and I. It is time for the Talking Lead Jackwagon of the Week, so brace yourself, baby.
All right, the train has stationed, and we've got a few jackwagons that we want to take care of, and we got a couple of heroes that we want to honor on this Thanksgiving episode of the Talking Lead podcast. So as you're sitting there chowing down on your turkey and dressing and gravy and mashed potatoes and green beans, and hopefully you went to Whiskey River Beef and you guys put your order in for some nice steaks and ground beef and maybe a tri-tip. I mean, I don't know what all you guys got there at Whiskey River, Prentice.
Man, we've got everything. We've got everything from the filet mignon to a special picanha to chuck steaks to Delmonico's. Man, we've got it all. We're stocked up and we're ready to start shipping beef to anybody and everybody that wants to fill those freezers.
So do we want to make the announcement now before we get into the jack wagons?
Let's do it.
Or do we want to go through the jack wagons first? You want to make the announcement on the Black Friday Cyber Monday special that Whiskey River Beef's going to be running just for you lead heads?
That's right. So this special is going to go through the end of the year, and you guys are going to be able to dial into the website, go ahead and put your orders in. Use the code WRB2023. When you do that, you'll be able to take full advantage of that Black Friday Cyber Monday discount, and that does run through the end of the year this year.
And Prentice, what's that discount? What are they going to get? How much are you going to give them on this?
That discount's going to be 10% off of anything that you purchase.
Nice.
And it will arrive to your doorstep within 24 to 48 hours of us shipping out. Keep in mind, all products are shipped every Monday. So be aware of when you're ordering that if you order on a Wednesday, it will be shipped that following Monday. But everything will be on your doorstep within 24 to 48 hours.
Very nice. So there you go, lead heads. I told you we were going to eventually get you a discount code, and we got one. So 10% off anything you order on Whiskey River Beef now until the end of the year. So go ahead and get those orders in. And like you said, if you put an order in later in the week, it's not going to ship out till the next Monday, the following Monday. So keep that in mind if you're planning on a Christmas dinner or having some people over and get-togethers and whatnot. So, but yeah, man, that's awesome. So thank you for doing that, Prentice. And I'm sure as the new year rolls around, we'll have some other deals for the lead heads. We've been talking about it, so I'm excited about that.
Yeah, excited to put those out. So yeah, they're coming. They're on their way.
They're on their way. That's right. And a little bit later, we're going to make another announcement that you're not going to want to miss with the Whiskey River Beef. So
that's right.
Maybe help out some Christmas dinners coming up. And speaking of dinners, our buddy Ton Jones on the show. You guys know, our avid listeners know that Ton is a cook. He's a bit of a chef, and he's ordered some Whiskey River Beef. He's got a roast or something. What'd he get?
He specifically asked for some short ribs and a beef brisket.
That's what it was.
So we sent that out to him, and we're really excited to see what he does with that.
There you go. Yeah. So he's got a bunch of people coming over for Thanksgiving, and he posts stuff on his social medias when he's doing all that cooking. So make sure you go, and it's Ton Jones Official on the Instagram. So I'm sure he'll be posting those videos up later on this week, so keep an eye out for that. That's something I'm looking forward to.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not as good a cook as he is, so I don't have all the fancy grilling stuff and everything that Ton does, but once I get my steaks thawed out and ready to go, I'll do some videos with mine too.
There you go.
Have you over maybe?
Hey, I'm all about eating Whiskey River Beef. Buddy.
There you go. I know you are. And Tommy, I remember I went to your house a few years back, and you had a nice little deck and grill set up back there too.
Yeah, the deck is still there. The grill, probably about the 5th generation grill that we're on now since you were here, but that's actually in that 100th episode video. Is that the one? And you and Zeke were here all day?
I think it was, yeah. When we did
we grilled some burgers.
The shooter spinoff.
We had some ornamental cooking utensils on the wall of my kitchen that belonged to my daughter, and we actually took them outdoors.
Yes.
Used them in the video on the grill. Yeah, I hear about that every once in a while.
They were oversized. I remember they were huge cooking utensils. But
I think that might be a good promo is some Whiskey River on those giant, massive utensils, because you could put 5. That'd be awesome. Actually, think about it. 5 or 6 big steaks on there as a promo.
Yeah.
There's the thought.
There you
Happy
go.
to help.
Happy to help. Very good. So now that we've got everybody's appetites going, and you're chowing down on your Thanksgiving dinner, we're going to take care of some jack wagons. And I'll kick us off here, gentlemen. So I was going through some news. I get these newsletters from NSSF, and that helps keep me up to date on stuff. So here's some news. So, the pistol braces have been kind of in the news here lately, where I think the U.S. Court of Appeals of the Fifth Circuit Court put an injunction or something on the ATF and not allowing them to arrest people or make them outlawed or anything. So, I mean, I'm sure that you lead heads, you've been going to the shops, you've been going to, your favorite gun shop, gun store, and you're seeing the pistols back. The pistol braces are back, and people are openly selling those now again. I noticed, Tommy and I were talking about this earlier, get inundated with emails from all these companies and all the deals and specials, and Palmetto State's one of those, and I go check those out, and I know that they've got them back for sale on their website too. So just wanted to let you guys know that if that's something that you've been looking for and wanting to get back into, now's the time to do it, because who knows when they're going to change their mind on that again. They go back and forth. You got any opinions on that, the pistol braces, Tommy?
Yes and no. I have never owned one. I've used them. I can't tell you how, but I've used them. And I think probably up in Kentucky, probably at Brandon's house. Remember Brandon back from the day? Another OG. I've never had a need for them, but I totally respect everyone's right to have one. And this has been such a mess. I've tried not to keep up with this because you never know, depending on what day of the week it is.
Yeah.
What the favor of this is, if it's possible. But it's, I think if people realized that you don't shoot as accurately, it's all about, you can. Let me back that up. You can, but I think that's what the antis need to realize is this actually helps you with control. I don't think they understand the real purpose of it, but then they don't understand a lot of accessories that are on a lot of our traditional firearms. This is just another one.
Well, here's something, Tommy, is they don't understand firearms, period.
Right.
Let alone the accessories
in there.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It's basically, it kind of gets to the argument where this could be a jackwagon thing where someone says, well, you shouldn't have an AR or anything that does this and this. Even if they have an accurate description of the firearm or the ammo or capacity or cycling rate or things like that, even if they have an accurate description, which is rare, but then they say, but that's not what the Second Amendment called for. It's like, okay, wait a minute. Then I come back and kind of box them in with, do you have an iPad? Do you have an iPhone? Do you have internet? Look at all the things, and then kind of box them in. Well, we don't think you should have something that derived from the military. And then I have a list on my phone, which I'm happy to bring out, that says, you own an SUV, you microwave food. You look at all the things that derived from the military and from technology, from the space industry and from the military that are now part of our daily lives, that people don't have a problem with it, do they?
No.
In the First Amendment, you have the ability now to put all kinds of poison into the air with your language and your speech and misinformation, and it's available around the world in an instant. How long would it have taken that 250 years ago? It may have never gotten there. So I just people don't have critical thinking
or by the
skills.
time
That's
that it got there, it was something completely different than what it started out as.
Exactly. Otherwise, yeah, you got me started. I'll back off.
No, that's fine. That's perfect. I asked for your opinion and you gave it. But
yeah,
I mean, that's the thing,
So jackwagon, that's a jackwagon thing.
Yeah, pistol braces aren't for everybody. Just like the bump stocks, I would never have purchased or owned a bump stock, and it didn't hurt my feelings that they, that they didn't make them available anymore. But it did hurt my feelings because, again, it's impeding on our Second Amendment rights. Even though I didn't agree with, that I would never use one, I thought they were useless. I didn't agree with the decision to outlaw them and ban them. That right. I did not agree with. And
I totally support the right to own one.
Yeah.
And to have, choices.
Exactly.
It's technology that improves the user experience in its purest form. That's all it is.
Yeah. And it's technology that
improves the experience,
leads to innovation.
That's it.
That bump stock could lead to something else that's going to be innovative and improve upon, some other aspect of firearms safety even. Who knows? But same thing with the pistol braces. I like pistol braces. I use the pistol braces. I have several of the pistol braces. But, again, here's the thing. And apparently, I'm going by these gun stores because they are selling them now, openly selling them. They have these high-priced attorneys and lawyers. So they wouldn't be selling them, I wouldn't think, if they didn't have people that were studying this and saying, okay, it's good now. We're good to go. You can own this and, you're fine. So.
And just hope that challenge is now over.
It's not going to be. It's not. They're gonna keep on, but we'll see. We'll see when it strikes its ugly head up again. I think they've got other things that they're more concerned with the election coming up. That they put that on the back burner for now.
That's the other positive thing about this outcome is that you now have a positive in our favor precedent and language to support that.
Exactly.
So, I mean, you build up enough bricks in the wall, not to use a Pink Floyd phrase, but if you build enough bricks. John Hickok would love that. But you get enough bricks built up to fortify. I mean, you're fortifying your position. That's where we are now. It's a fortification in a positive way.
Yeah.
So that's kind of big picture, 50,000 foot, how I'm looking at it. But I support everyone's right to have one. I have no problem with somebody owning that. Good grief.
So we were talking earlier, too, about a couple of other jack wagons. Here's a House Democrats hold roundtable on nationwide gun emergency. Democratic members of Congress, led by U.S. Rep. Jamie Raskins, Democratic, Maryland, assembled for a roundtable discussion about criminal misuse of firearms and their gun control answers. We're going to examine the nationwide gun emergency. Here they go, throwing.
Maybe in Baltimore. That's not nationwide. Now, I'm curious when you mention this person. Is their district Baltimore?
Jamie Raskin.
I'm not,
He's a Democrat in Maryland, yeah. But he
curious.
goes on to say,
just
the endless rounds of gun violence and massacres that are plaguing our society. The roundtable was called together in aftermath of the Lewistown, Maine tragedy, but members mostly discussed new opportunities to pass more gun control, not the numerous instances where the murder slipped through the cracks of the existing laws and safeguards already in place that should have prevented him from purchasing and possessing firearms to begin with. So,
he is, okay, it looks like his district is Rockville, Maryland, which is just north of D.C.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I've driven through there several times, but again, it doesn't matter really where he is, but
how they label this to get around laws too. Gun emergency, gun pandemic. When they throw pandemics and emergencies and what's that other catchphrase that they use to. It'll come to me in a minute. Like the war on drugs, and stuff like that, to where they can skirt and go through the normal legal process of getting laws and passed.
Oh, yeah.
They try to skirt it.
I hope I'm competent enough to go head to head with someone in a position of authority. I kind of dream about this. If I could go head to head in a conversation, call it a debate, whatever you will, but just the basic, I guess it's the salesperson in me, the basic logic of, wait a minute, you're declaring a national emergency, gun epidemic, gun violence, and all those types of things. What constitutes a national? Let's look at what constitutes a national emergency outside of gun, and it's not gun violence. Let's get this right. It's people violence, whether it's mental health or not. That's a whole nother topic. Yeah. It's not gun violence. I mean, what's this doing right now that's violent? What's this doing? I have 2 rifles next, so there's probably something else in here.
See that hidden. Wall behind me? It hasn't attacked me yet.
You punch that YouTube plaque behind me and something will jump out. But it's not gun violence. I get so tired of hearing that. It's people violence. It's people with just evil and whatever. But the national emergency thing. So when you just have to get somebody to admit, which if they're mindful of what they're doing, they probably won't, but you've got to get them close. So if you have 99.9% of gun owners like us who are obeying the law and going out of our way to be good people and obey the law, like the story I shared with you, Mark, offline a moment ago about something that came to my house that wasn't supposed to be here. And it's like, I recognize it wasn't supposed to be here because a manufacturer sent it and I brought their attention to it. And it was embarrassing for that company. I won't get into details, but you and I talked about that. When you have 99.9% of people obeying the law, what logic drives someone to think that there's a national emergency on firearms? It's somewhat localized. I mean, Tennessee gets a bad rap for everything that happens in Memphis, but my gosh, Nashville's gotten just as bad.
Yeah.
You don't hear that kind of crap going on in Chattanooga and Knoxville.
But look at where Nashville is now politically. Nashville is, it's a liberal town now. It's a liberal city. And the more liberal it's gotten, the crime has risen. And
it's only going to get worse. This guy that's there now,
he's a bonehead.
Just totally progressive. And he's anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't like the future of Nashville, Davidson County. I haven't for a while. And I actually sat down last week. I don't drive into the city unless I have to. And I'll usually go around, any of the outside bypasses to get around, even if it's Old Hickory Boulevard.
Yeah.
I'll do anything I can to not have to drive downtown.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't feel safe in Nashville, and the suburbs have gotten just as bad, and now it's bleeding over into surrounding counties. We see that all the time. So Nashville, I've just checked the news before we signed on. It's like, my gosh, I didn't heard about these incidents. And 10, 15 years ago, these were incidents that would have made the headlines in Nashville and in the state and in the region. And now it's a natural occurrence 10 to 15 times a day. And it's like there are people suffering and their lives are altered forever because of what happened. And you're just numb to it. And then the anti say, well, they're numb to all the things that are going on. It's like three of us, we're not the people who are doing this.
No, but they're oblivious to what's going on around them, and they don't want to admit what's going on around them. They're the yuppies, the people that have gone there and gentrified Nashville and pushed all these people out and raised their property taxes and made it impossible for them to live there.
I think the worm is going to turn in Nashville and Davidson County, where we might see tourism impacted. Cost of living is already out of control. It's gotten dangerous.
Turn into
Never
Chicago.
thought I'd see it happen.
Yeah, I didn't either.
The lax laws, people get the juveniles, the 12 and 13-year-olds that are out shooting people. And then, it's gun violence. No, wait a minute. Where are those kids' parents? Literally 13, 14 years old, stealing cars. Now the street racing's a big thing. Then they're finding drugs, guns, everything else. What happens? Okay, they make their $20,000 bail. What's the story behind that? Who's paying this bail? Who's bonding them out? There's just so much, and it just.
Well, if it's like California, they don't do bail anymore. It's like you don't need bail; they just let you out. You don't have to post bail.
That started in some of these other cities like New York,
California, Chicago, yeah, absolutely.
Nashville's now. Yeah, I was talking with a friend in Atlanta. He's in law enforcement, and we were talking the other day, and he's coming up to Nashville in about a month. And I said, when's the last time you were in Nashville? He's living in Atlanta forever. I think he's originally from New York. So he's seen it all, Marine, done things around the world. He's done it all in law enforcement. I said, when's the last time you were in Nashville? He said, 40 years ago. I said, you're not going to recognize it. And I said, you're not going to feel safe.
No. It's not the same Nashville. Yeah.
It's just, I said, you're not going to recognize this place and the culture. It's not what it was. Literally, he said it's been 1982. I'm going, my gosh. I vaguely remember that for the bad things that are going on, and that the laws that are being
Tommy,
considered.
It's just that's the easiest scapegoat. That's the easiest person to point the finger to.
Let's not
to take it off my shoulders. It's not my fault. I don't own a gun. It's not my fault. It's got to be your fault because you're pro 2A. You own a gun. You're into guns. You're pushing all these gun rights and all this stuff. It's your fault. You're at fault. It's not my fault.
Yeah. Part of my deal is to show how it can be safely done and how you can be a good person and have a good career and a family and do all these things and be the gray man.
Yeah. That's the majority of us out here, especially the YouTubers, the Instagram people, those influencer people. I'm not an influencer. I don't consider myself an influencer. I'm media. I consider myself media.
I don't either, for that matter. I never have. You know, I think I might cross the line into being an influencer if I appeared in a video wearing a bikini or twerking.
Or a monkey suit?
Or monkey suit's gone. It's gone.
Remember the monkey suit?
I have photographic evidence of the demise of the monkey suit.
So for those who don't know what we're talking about, go to Talking Lead's YouTube channel, and it was our 100th episode. Is that what it was? The video?
Yeah.
At the end of that, like the blooper reel kind of thing. You remember that?
I watched that a couple of weeks ago. Yeah, I watched the whole video. First time I watched it in a while.
There's this guy in a monkey suit that wears me out with a baseball bat.
Well, that happened. Yeah, but there was also somebody in a monkey suit at the end who was twerking in my backyard. My neighbors still talk about that. Like, what in the world?
Good times.
They've seen me do things in the backyard, and I have a lot of privacy back here. So if you see me in the backyard,
you're going out of your
somewhere
way.
You shouldn't be.
Yeah.
I have a lot of privacy back here. But yeah, it's like, what was that? 2014? What was that thing back there in your yard twerking and a lot of other things.
Some other things I can't mention.
I want to be clear. I was not the one. I was not the one in the suit when that happened during that scene. It's that person right there. Yeah. Yeah.
Prentice?
Not me.
No, but the suit is gone. It has appeared in some videos the last few weeks, but that was archival footage that I cleaned up and re-rendered and all that. But it's gone. I had photos of it in the fire pit. I'll just tell you, it smelled so bad.
Oh my gosh, I can imagine.
You can't wash those things. I mean, the first time I wore it in 2011, it was a birthday, and I said, I'm just going to go spend the day in the woods. So I did, outside of town, some family property. So took the suit and some firearms and targets, and I made a video wearing a Bigfoot suit in 90-degree heat. And it's like, my gosh, this is crazy. Then I did it 3 or 4 other times. I wore it on Halloween a couple of times answering the door. That was funny.
Now, you can't tell me that you didn't try to go out and make somebody think that you were Sasquatch. Pull a prank on somebody. You're on one of those History Channel in search of Sasquatch videos, aren't you?
Talked about that with some people. Maybe Hickok was one of them. I think we may have talked about it. I was afraid of getting shot.
Yeah, that's true.
That didn't happen. Was it Wendy's or McDonald's? I did go through a drive-through wearing it. Yeah. I think I hit 4 or 5 drive-throughs in the community. Didn't get a ticket, didn't get reported. No one showed up to the house, but I did drive around in it, and it might have. I'm not even sure it was Halloween. I think I just did it for the heck of it.
Well, you know what?
Drive-throughs with it, ordered some food and paid for my food.
If you'd have had it sitting in your passenger seat, you would have got a ticket if you were in the HOV lane.
Yeah, exactly right. If I had a mannequin in the passenger seat,
if you'd had your Sasquatch suit over there,
yeah, like maybe have a Zeke mannequin over, the other side of the car, I get a ticket.
Right.
But, yeah.
Hey, Leadheads, Dwight Settle with Seal One. Just here to talk to you and tell you a little bit about our product. Seal One CLP Plus is a bio-based, non-toxic product. It comes in a paste, liquid, aerosol, and pre-saturated bore-specific patches called sealskins. They all do the same thing, just different methods of application. The best way to use our product is to start with a clean firearm. And there's 2 reasons why I say that. First, you start with the Seal One CLP Plus by field stripping your firearm and covering the entire firearm inside and out, bore, barrel, everything with the Seal One CLP Plus. You'll see how easy it spreads around. You'll want to wait about 15 to 20 minutes. Then you come back and you want to wipe it all off. So you see how easy it is to put on and remove. And the second reason we say to use a clean firearm is you'll find that it's not clean. We're going to pull out more carbon that's been left behind with whatever product you've been using before. Okay, it takes about 3 cleanings, so I like to say a clean shoot, clean shoot, clean shoot, just normal usage before the Seal 1 CLP Plus has removed whatever product that you were using before and has seasoned the firearm. It's kind of like breaking in a cast iron skillet. And after that first cleaning, you will notice a difference. And with each successive cleaning, you will find that it gets easier and easier to clean. Seal 1 CLP Plus is a dry lubricant and is designed to work as such. You will find that malfunctions are virtually eliminated when used properly, because the majority of all malfunctions are caused to carbon buildup. And with the Seal 1 CLP Plus, the carbon does not build up. Seal 1 CLP Plus is safe on all metals, plastics, composites, polymers, rubber, wood, and leather. Seal 1 CLP Plus is a one-and-done formulation. No other products are required or needed to clean and lubricate and protect your firearm. That's why we say Seal 1 and done. Seal 1 is a proud sponsor of the Talking Lead podcast and the Leadhead Brigade. Use the code LEADHEAD for a 25% off discount.
All right, let's move on. Jack wagons. You guys got any
Updated on
jack
that.
wagons? Who's your jack wagon?
Prentice is thinking about it.
Prentice, you got any jack wagons? Anybody you want to call out is doing something dumb?
Man, don't get me started today because I'm going to start at the political height of it and I'm just going to wear him out. So I'll pass.
Oh, it is his birthday today as we're recording.
Really?
Biden's birthday. He turned 81 today.
Yeah.
By the
81
way.
is still senile. What can we say? Congratulations, Biden.
Another year of senility.
No doubt.
I think the jackwagon situation at the border and the constant parading of people in front of Congress and the testimony and everything, nothing's happened. So I think there could be jackwagons on both sides of the aisle.
Oh,
And I realize
definitely.
that,
Yeah,
the deck
they
is
can-
stacked in some favor, but I'm tired of the political theater. I want to see things taken care of. It's just, and that's why I've kind of tuned out the news, and I'm very selective on where I get my news, different websites and so forth. But I'm just tired of the political theater, and it seems like it's just everything's buying time until the election. It's like, so we get to the election, all the distractions, and then there's no resolution, there's no outcome. I mean, I'm just happy to sit
Good
out here
one.
in the backyard around the fire pit with a cup of coffee and some chocolate and a rifle, and I'm good. I don't have to go downtown Nashville to the madness.
And a gorilla suit.
I'm not attracted. I understand if you are, but there's just places I don't go anymore because it doesn't appeal to me. It's not because I'm old. It's because I just don't see the value proposition of the distractions relative to what I'm going to get out of
Risk
it and how I want to keep
versus
growing
reward.
and learning and moving forward.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people just have stopped the desire to learn. I think they've given up. That's a whole other topic. I think people have given up.
Yeah.
So you don't blame them when they can't buy a house. Or
Could
get a
be,
loan or
but I think
whatnot.
people have just lost not only that they've given up, they've lost the ability to be able to critically think. They don't teach that to children anymore. How to critically think for yourself, how to take information from this side, that side, and then educate yourself, and then come to your own conclusion. And that's what people.
I've been connected to the higher education industry for a number of years, and what I have seen and how I've seen it, I don't want to use the word evolve because it's not evolving. Evolving is the way I look at the definition of it is you're growing, you're expanding, you're learning, but there's a constant
betterment.
desire to improve.
Betterment.
Okay?
Yeah.
I'm not seeing that with higher education. And of course, we don't see it in public education either.
Yeah.
Coming back to Nashville, what a mess. But all those things, then you plug in the firearms aspect of that and Second Amendment and our freedoms and the founders. You talk to people, they don't understand the concept of the founders, or they think it's antiquated or out of date. Like, wow, when we totally lose that concept,
Yeah, we're in trouble then.
that's a bad thing. And it all ties in with firearms and our rights and pistol braces and all these other. It all is this big Venn diagram that touches every element. That's the way I look at it.
So here's some shocking news. And this comes out of Flint,
way.
Michigan, of all places. Flint, Michigan. And this is kind of going to go towards the hero side of our segment here. A preliminary injunction allows guns at open meetings at Flint City Hall.
That's amazing.
Can you believe that?
Regardless of where it is.
A judge issued a preliminary injunction to allow people to bring guns to Flint City Council meetings. The ruling made on Monday, November the 20th, would allow people to bring weapons to any meetings subject to the Open Meeting Act held at City Hall, the city of Flint said. However, the city said guns are still banned in other public spaces at City Hall for other general business. The city first announced that Flint City Hall had become a gun-free zone at the end of October. Oh, I remember that other word that I was trying to think of that these politicians and alarmist crisis. Crisis. If it's a crisis, then that also, it's a gun crisis. It's a gun epidemic. Epidemic is another, epidemic, pandemic. So anyway, so I thought that was some interesting news.
If we have a crisis, it's a constitutional crisis. I don't see a gun crisis.
But that's what they call it. They call it
right.
a gun violence crisis. But that it's alarmism. It's alarmist. It's to get people's emotions going and.
Well, you're kind of hitting all around it. It's a play on words. You've already pretty much said that. Or implied that it's a play on words, and it's very carefully designed to resonate and be embedded within people who are weak-minded.
Yeah. It is, but when politicians use it and try to pass laws and new rules, then there are certain, if it's labeled a certain thing, then they have certain powers. It allows them certain powers to bypass, like I said earlier, the order of operation in getting laws and things passed. So.
And how it's sold to people who are conditioned or have allowed themselves to be conditioned to accept that language as the gospel on any topic. But on firearms, which obviously what we're talking about.
Sure.
Yeah.
But I thought that was some good news in Flint, Michigan there. City. I mean, something
that's
you wouldn't
amazing.
think that
Government
would happen
building.
There.
Yeah.
Yeah. You guys got any heroes? Anybody that deserves some praise?
I just think our veterans are underappreciated.
Yeah.
Every day.
Whether that's, how they're treated at the VA. I make a point if I'm at a restaurant or somewhere and I see older gentlemen, wearing a hat. I'm pretty much thinking, okay, he's the one who served, but he might be wearing the hat for someone else. But I'll thank them for their service. And I think only on one occasion did they correct me and say, no, I'm wearing this for my brother or whatever. It's like, oh, good. So they're honoring that person. It was like, well, I appreciate what they did.
Yeah.
I appreciate you, sharing that for everybody to see. I make a point to do that. I've been in some really crazy faraway places where I've done that, and they kind of look at you as like, yeah, most people will appreciate it, and then we'll actually respond. I mean, it might be a bathroom, a public restroom, wherever, which is kind of weird.
Did you just say public restroom?
It's probably not the correct thing to say when you're in a men's room and you say, I appreciate your service. It's like,
oh, boom.
Yeah. So anyway.
And then you drop a $5.
Let's edit that.
I'm going to leave that in. That's
Prentice
funny.
is thinking, who's this guy you brought on here, man? But yeah.
So I've got one more hero. Unless, Prentice, you got a hero?
No, I'm going to go with Tommy on this. Our veterans are way underappreciated day in, day out on every level. So kudos, Tommy, I'm on you with that.
So a Parkland dad stands for daughter's memory, denounces the Washington Post gun control ploy. Ryan Petty tragically lost his daughter, Elena, to the unspeakable murders at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland, Florida. After significant soul-searching, he couldn't bring himself to blame the gun, but recognized that the evil was in the heart of the murderer, which Tommy was just pointing out earlier. The Washington Post published images and videos of several headline-grabbing murder scenes, including Parkland revisiting the tragedies in an attempt to drudge support for banning AR-15s. Petty denounced the publication and as did Bearing Arms Cam Edwards and the Reload Stephen Gutowski, who wrote, "That's a significant departure from how reputable news outlets have long operated." Ryan Petty worked with NSSF's Real Solutions campaign to talk about Alania's, maybe it's Alaina apostrophe S.
Elena's.
Alaina, okay.
Alaina.
And how he couldn't allow others to use her memory to rob Americans of their rights. Edwards wrote of the video,
Wow.
"There are real solutions out here that can help prevent these terrible acts from taking place and spare parents the horror and grief that Ryan knows firsthand, and they can comfortably coexist with all our freedoms, including our right to keep and bear arms."
I have, when you started talking about that story, I had heard that before, so that sounds like that was an update, but I have heard of him previously, and clearly he's very grounded and critical thinking and using logic. The other thing that you don't hear so much about is all the failures that led up to that, and that is a pattern. It happened in Maine. It's happened in other places where there were failures, and I find it ironic that the people who are calling on the government to come down on gun ownership and background checks and all those types of things, they're asking the same entities who failed to. I mean, isn't that just ironic? You're asking the same people, the same entities who failed. I mean, Parkland was a failure of local law enforcement before the day of. It was a failure of the FBI. The kid was on radar.
Yep.
His home had been visited numerous times. People talk about red flag laws. There's another wormhole. Well, if you're going to have a red flag law, you better damn well have all the checks and balances. You better have consistent reporting of the data that supports the firearm, the background check. We're never going to have that. It has to be consistent from one state to another.
Red flag laws don't work, and they're never going to work.
They're not going to work. They're not going to
never going to work.
It's basically another form of restraining order. It's not going to work. It's not going to work.
No.
So, until you seriously impact people who are committing crimes and send the message to the rest of the world that we're not going to tolerate it. This is how you will be taken care of. This is the outcome, and this is the standard. The standard now, it's not in favor of people who are trying to do the right thing. But yeah, Parkland was a failure, multiple levels. I hate to say it, of law enforcement and government, but it's a fact, and there's evidence for that.
Yeah.
The Orlando shooting at the club is the same thing. On the radar, passing background
Name
checks.
one that wasn't.
Maine.
Name one that wasn't. The Las Vegas guy was on the radar.
You never hear anything about that, do you?
No, that got swept
What
under
happened
the
to
rug.
that? That's a whole topic.
Yeah, whole nother
That
thing.
was really, there's nothing to be found on that. Nothing. San Bernardino.
Mm-mm. Do you know
I
who
mean,
Mindy?
I hate that we have to name cities all over the country. Nashville.
Yeah, I mean
that's not
that
all
big
over the
thing's been
country.
in the news recently because they released the her manifesto or whatever it was, her diary, whatever they're calling it. They didn't release it, but it got released. Steven Crowder, I think, got access to it, and he released like three or four pages of it. And of course, they're trying to bury that because it didn't.
Trying to bury that, and there's going to be some people in law enforcement who are going to lose their career because it leaked.
Yeah,
And they will isolate. I think they're down to 4, maybe 3 or 4.
Yeah,
They're going to
I don't
ruin
know.
their career because this got out. And I have mixed feelings about that. I mean, your position of maintaining confidential information, I get that. You want to respect that.
But here's the
my
thing,
gosh,
Tommy,
I
is
think
that
some folks
they're
that-
saying it wasn't a police officer that they got it from.
Really?
Yeah, that's what they're saying. But anyway, enough politics and all this crap. We want to talk. Oh, wait a minute! Another thing we need to mention is the footage from the January 6th protest is what they really were, protests.
Thank you for using that word. Yeah.
Yeah, the protest has been released, and it's showing just that it was a that it was a protest. It wasn't a riot. It wasn't an insurrection. It wasn't, all this. And, that's trying to get buried too. So just keep your eye on that. Something to think about. I don't want to go into any details on that either because, again, we could spend another hour.
It's not making the mainstream news at all. You can look at any mainstream news outlet. There's absolutely no mention of J6.
No.
Nothing.
Not
you can find out what Taylor Swift did in Argentina this week, but there's nothing going on.
Was that Britney Spears or Taylor Swift? Britney Spears or Taylor? Biden thinks that it's Britney Spears. Anyway.
I caught the headline on that. I didn't waste my time digging in it.
Well, he did turn 81 today, so, happy birthday, Sleepy.
I just have no words.
All right, we're going to move on because people are here to hear about guns and ammo. That's what they want to hear. So for all you that were just cringing through that jackwagon train, I'm sorry, but the good stuff is here now. The good topics are here now. So gonna get that train out of here. We're going to talk ballistics and guns and cool things with Tommy.
We'll see how that goes.
It's gonna.
What was your plan on that? To go through the questions? 'Cause I've looked at the.
No,
Instagram
we're gonna save those. I've got some questions for you.
Okay.
I've got some questions for you. So.
Uh-oh.
So you
actually, I have some questions as well, some topics, but we might not have time for that.
Yeah, I got all the time in the world. So
I'm following your lead.
Follow my lead. So we mentioned earlier, that you started your YouTube channel about 2008 or so, around there.
Yeah, I think the first videos. It didn't start out as a firearms channel. It started out with some. I don't want to call family videos, but just hobby videos of trains. I was on a trip in the Caribbean and did some, not beach footage, I'm sorry, but plane footage at St. Martin, where the planes come in low over the beach. So I had some plane footage there. I had some trains. And then I plugged in I said, let me plug in a gun video. And I can't even remember what it was, if it's still out there. And the views on that were exponentially higher. The engagement, the comments, and going, oh, gosh. I didn't expect that. I probably did, but I denied it. Kind of got going. But it's what can I do here? Because at the time, I didn't have much of a collection. What I have here around me, stuff like that.
He's holding up an AR.
I didn't have that much. So what can I do? It's like, what can I do? And I'll say that when I got into carrying on a regular basis, so we're talking early 2000s. So I'm now a buyer, a consumer of defensive ammo. You had the internet, you had YouTube, you had, still print and everything else. I was very frustrated with the lack of detailed information regarding defensive handgun ammo. And that really hasn't changed a whole lot. It just hasn't. But I just couldn't find information. It's basically everything was an ad. It's marketing. Really now it's marketing. It's a 1-minute marketing piece. That's it. I'm not connected to firearms companies. I can say whatever I want. So I was just agitated. And I've got photos from 2003, 2004, 2005, before YouTube, where I was testing wet pack with a Glock 26. Because that's what I carried at the time. Not a micro, but a subcompact, like a 3.5.
They didn't have micros back then.
So they didn't have micros back then. They hadn't gone that extra half an inch to a 3-inch barrel. So I was running a Glock 26 and shot it well. And if I had them, I'd put the pictures up here to see, but maybe you can plug it in the video later. But I've got some wet pack photos from 2004, 2005, where I'm shooting Winchester Ranger, Spear Gold Dots into wet pack and making measurements of those. How far do they penetrate? Wet pack, kind of irrelevant, but you get a sense. And then the, expansion and all that. Like, I just kind of wanted to know, how does this ammo work? How's it engineered? And then it kind of took off from there. Wet pack testing, sim test, which to me was pretty good stuff. The sim test, and then clear gel, which I thought about doing a video on that. I have some thoughts on clear gel. It's a good product if you understand what you're getting with it, okay? It's the best visual you could expect. And that's why people now have turned it to an entertainment product as opposed to trying to get some pseudoscience out of it. So all that, and then I guess 2 years ago, played around with the real stuff, the real 10% organic gel. That is such a pain to make from scratch, but I nailed it. And I was talking to people in law enforcement and physicists and other people in my little network behind the scenes. And they said, you really got this. And I said, okay, I'm running with it. So I did, 10 or 12 videos with that and then hit that pause button again at the end of 21. And here we are. Still fascinated by it. I do get it. It's about being accurate and proficient. And that's really where I'm at right now. And that's kind of, I don't want to use the word preach, but that's what I try to emphasize. Yeah. It is important to know, especially with, these little 3-inch barrels, the Shield Plus, which I'm showing again. Today's ammo, I think you really have to be careful what you're using in the little micros. I think what they're doing in 9mm ammo now, which is lowering velocities, but they're saying because of technology, I can debate that all day long. Ammo is ammo, but they're lowering velocities. And when you're doing that with a 3-inch barrel, you're getting into a kind of a dangerous area where some of the ammo that you might choose for your self-defense might not be the best option for the type of gun that you have, type of firearm. So it's kind of where I'm at now. So I've evolved. My mindset has changed on some things that I believed in 10 years ago, 5 years ago. Now it's about being proficient. And that's what I'm focusing on every week is proficiency. I'm very specific. I like gold dots. I like HSTs. I like bonded ammo. I like some non-bonded ammo. So that's a whole topic. And maybe that gets into some of the questions that people had.
It might, and we'll get into those in a minute. Don't worry about those questions just yet. Now
so it's basically kind of an exercise in frustration is what I guess I would call it.
Now, since you've been back, you said you've put out about, 14, 15 videos?
There's about 13. They're not ammo reviews. It's just a mix of things. There's a couple of gun reviews. There's a couple of archive things I threw together. There's the longest video I've ever posted was of this. All the years I've done, this went up in, I think September. This is the Ruger PC carbine. Yeah. And for those who are concerned, it's not loaded. There is a magazine, but it's not loaded. There you go. That's a Vortex Crossfire.
We're not concerned about those people. They're not watching this show, so don't worry about that.
So this to me, I had never owned it. Yeah, I have. I just said it. I had a High Point carbine, and I support the people with the company. I want everybody to do well in this industry. I did not like the product, and I don't know how much that's changed. I know that firearm has evolved and the company's evolved, but this is a very solid piece of equipment. Oh, look at you. So this is a very solid piece of equipment. And I bought this at the end of 21. I did not buy it at the Glock store. I bought it at a local dealer and I knew exactly what I wanted. I had researched it. So, I'm clearly not the first person to have that. I was kind of late to the party in the review. Yeah. But I started on that video in 2022 and put something together and I posted maybe a 30-second preview. And it's like, screw it. I took it down. Kept that footage, which I used in this video that you're showing right now, if you got it up. And it's a 17-minute video. I mean, I've never done my videos. I want them to be 6, 7, 8 minutes. And that's an old family photo there. That's an original family photo from the 1800s, really? Early 1900s. And I kind of played around with it. Yeah, kind of played around. I've used that in 2 videos. Used that in this video and also in a Hornady XTP review 2 years ago. Had a different caption. But, trying to plug in some sarcasm, dry humor, and that photo says the deceptively technically savvy marketing team. It's like, something stupid.
Is that like your great-great-grandfather or something?
That is my great-great-grandfather, the gentleman holding the shotgun on the far left.
Now, do you still have that shotgun in the family? Is that still in the family?
Oh man, we don't know where that is. If I had that shotgun, I'd be showing it. We don't. It's probably at the bottom of a creek in Hickman County somewhere. I think that's where that was taken. That was probably taken around Centerville or Columbia, is my guess, or maybe even Lawrenceburg.
I could swear that's you with a fake beard on right there.
My beard looked like that 3 years ago, but
did it?
No, not quite that bad.
Look at all those raccoon skins they've got there. That's quite the haul that they've made.
That's a hunting camp. Yeah, that's a hunting camp photo. So, the dog, I don't know who the other two gentlemen are that are sitting there, I guess, cleaning a raccoon. But
I think that's Hickok's relatives.
Actually, one of them might be a young Hickok. It's from the early 1900s. But
that's John, right?
I can't about that all. But one of my relatives wrote a book on genealogy for our family, and when in her discovery, that's a photo that she uncovered. So we have a ton of old black and white photos. One of my other relatives was a colonel in the Civil War. We have a photograph of him. That might have been him. I have to go back and check. But yeah, I plugged in some humor. That's from Jackass. I plugged in some humor about people leaving the room. And I mentioned the cost of this, which is right at now $1,100. It's gone up quite a bit since I bought it.
Ruger's proud of their 9mm carbine, aren't they?
Carbine. I made that clear at the beginning of the video. So people want to leave the video, they can certainly do that. But it's actually doing really well. People are watching it.
Yeah, you got over 34,000 views on it. So I've got
doing better than I thought. But right now you got the Smith carbine that's out there. There's, I tried to point out, hey, if you don't like this carbine, you don't like Ruger, I hope there's some data points here that in your journey for shopping for a carbine, maybe I can give you some things here to work with. And that was really the point. If you're interested in the Ruger, great. I don't care. But I really want it to be kind of an undertone of what else can I plug in? Because I'm all about the information. I can't tell you how many visuals are in this video. The file on this size was incredible, the file size.
Yeah.
But it's like, you know what? I can't do it in 8 minutes. It's going to have to be a freaking 17-minute video. And right now, you just came across the ammo review. I mean, I went through hundreds of rounds of ammo with this. And then I found a problem with it, which I shared with folks. It's like, hey, I'm not endorsed by these people. I can tell you that it had screwed up bad, and this is what it did, and this is how I fixed it. So I think there was some value there.
Yeah.
But right now, I'm actually working on a point of view video with it. I'm actually working on it this week, and I hope to get it done by the end of the month.
Yeah, and I'm
putting a camera on the gun and running through the red dot.
Yeah.
Just run a search on red dot point of view videos, and you really won't find much. And red dots, are big. So why not show folks what a red dot looks like when you're shooting it, right? Point of view.
Absolutely.
So that's what I'm trying to work on right now, and I spent most of the day Saturday working on it, and
but
trying to get to a point.
In my opinion, I think that's why you're so popular too. Is that you do give honest reviews and opinions. If something sucks or is not up to specs, you're going to mention it, but you're not going to just run something in the ground. You're going to give technical data as to why, it's not up to specs or why it doesn't.
Right. Yeah, I appreciate you saying that. There's never really been something that sucked so bad that I couldn't find something positive about it, whether it was ammo, whether it was a firearm. I mean, this thing is not perfect. It's going to be heavy for some people.
Yeah.
And it's going to be expensive. And I have to let people know. I mean, I paid $900 for it. No, I paid less than that. I paid $800 2 years ago. It's gone up $300 in 2 years. I don't know why.
But you know what's coming up, Tommy. You know what's coming up.
It's called
Black Friday and Cyber Monday is coming up. So they might be able to find them a smoking deal on it at their local gun dealers.
Maybe possibly so. But I mean, it's something I'd recommend looking at. If you don't buy it, it doesn't hurt my feelings. I mean, you might not want to pay $1,100 for a 9mm carbine. I get it.
Yeah, but just wait.
But
the prices will come down. Prices will come down.
The hours I put into that video, was like, I can't do that again. That was such an incredibly labor-intensive video. And I think people appreciate that. And it's great to hear that feedback. And I think a few people said, hey, why don't you now review the Smith? And I'm going, well, okay, I don't own it. So there's $1,000. And there's another 800 rounds of ammo, because I probably put 800 to 1,000 rounds of ammo through that rifle, that carbine, just to make the video. So it took, I can't tell you how long to make that, but I'm happy with it. And that's another thing. If I'm not happy with the product I'm putting out there, I don't do it.
I got a couple of sub 2000s I'll let you borrow if you want to try those out.
Is that the Kel-Tac?
Yeah. It's surprisingly...
I've got some trigger time with one of those, and
surprisingly shoots well.
I know the person who owns it. It's been a good deal for him. I've heard nothing bad about him.
Yeah, I really enjoy my sub 2000. I've got a couple of other 9mm carbines too, that I shoot. I built one myself. I've got one that I built. So yeah, I like the 9mm carbines too. I think they're just more of a novelty than anything. I mean, if I'm going to go to a rifle, I'm going to get my, I'm either get my AK or I'm going to get, one of my ARs.
That's exactly a point
Blackout.
that I hope people, what you just said, I hope that's something people will consider. This is not, and that's something I meant to say in the video. This doesn't replace an AR. It doesn't replace an AK or an SKS or an M1 carbine. And there are people who say, oh, wow, M1 carbine, 30 caliber, maybe I can get close to 30 M1 carbine ballistics, which off the top of my head this is nerdy, 1990 feet per second, 110 grain. I know, stop laughing. 110 grain FMJ, which I love the M1 carbine. I've got a 1943 Inland, and maybe I'll do another video with it. It's been quite a while, but
I got one.
I'm thinking about shooting some Korean War ammo from the early 50s through this carbine to see how it still runs.
Yeah,
and it's not a scratch and sniff video. What does it smell like? Probably Dwight Eisenhower shorts. I don't know, but that's something I'm thinking about. It's just kind of that off wonky kind of stuff that I'm not going to be mainstream. I can't keep up with the mainstream, and I'll be the first one to tell you that. It's going to be something just different. So I'm not going to try to keep up with that pace.
And you should do what you do well.
It's not. I'm going to probably, as long as this chapter runs, I don't know how many pages are left in it, but whatever pages are left, it's going to be similar to what I've done in the past.
But Tommy,
there will be more sarcasm.
Tommy,
there will be more sarcasm.
Tommy, the people that are mainstream right now, I guarantee you, they cut their teeth on your videos. Mm-hmm. They watched your videos. They grew up watching you.
I hope they have a good dentist. That's all I can say. Just
chip a tooth.
Yeah, yeah, especially. Yeah, definitely. But that's.
Attention business owners. Are you ready to take your marketing game to the next level? Look no further than Black Tie Digital Marketing, the firearm-friendly, full-service agency that delivers results. We've worked with industry giants like Kel-Tec, Spikes Tactical, and Armalite, and we even designed the kick-ass new logo at Talkin' Lead. At Black Tie, we blend creativity and data-driven strategies to ensure your message hits the mark every time. From high-end custom websites, graphic design, to inbound marketing campaigns, and everything in between, we've got you covered. Your success is our priority. Join the ranks of the industry's top players and give your business the boost it deserves. Experience the power of Black Tie today. Visit blacktieDigital.com or call 1-800-316-8030 to schedule your free consultation. That's Black Tie Digital Marketing, where firepower meets marketing power. Black Tie Digital Marketing is a proud sponsor of the Talking Lead podcast and the Leadhead Brigade.
Yeah, the carbine, you could do a whole episode just on 9mm carbines. I mean, really.
Oh, yeah.
Lots of good stuff. It's just people have to understand where it's going to top out. You're not going to get M1 carbine ballistics out of it. You're not. I mean, yeah. And that was something I was really curious about. So I ran dozens and dozens of rounds. I had to know, what's the top end? And then you start getting into burn rates, and it gets technical. I try to stay away from that. But I think it's something people, if you're a 9mm person, if you understand the utility of one and the versatility of it, I mean, use it back here we got rabbit animals back here. I'm good with it at 50 yards. I've got it dialed in at 50 yards for 1-inch groups. So coyotes back here, I feel good about it on a coyote, on a 40-pound coyote at 50 yards. Yeah. As opposed to the noise that's going to happen if I run, 5.56. It's a great target gun. I think it's a great learning gun. You got your Ruger 1022, you got your 9mm carbine. Those are great tools to educate people with on shooting with open sights or with an optic.
Sure.
So, yeah.
They have their place. They definitely have their place.
Yeah.
Now this video,
you can do a whole episode just on that.
Yeah, this video that we're talking about, you can go to his YouTube channel, TNOUTDOORS9, Ruger 9mm PC carbine M-Lock review. And make sure you go and read the comments like this one from this gentleman. It says, if I didn't already have more 9mm PCCs than I need, I'd be tempted on this one. I still have fantasies about that MPX we reviewed last year. So sweet. By the way, your marketing team looks way more sophisticated than our marketing team ever was. Our marketing team kept begging me to quit taking so much and to make shorter videos. Quit talking so much and make shorter videos. Obviously, I fired them promptly. So that's Hickok 45.
Did you see how I responded to him?
Let me see what your response was.
We have a constant. Some people don't realize this. I've known Hickok personally. He's a close family friend to not just me, but my family. And I've known him since 1986.
Wow.
So
was he your teacher?
That's 30, how many? 37 years?
Yeah,
that's a third of his life.
Was he your high school teacher?
That's a third of his life. So, yeah.
Was he your high school teacher, Tommy?
No, I used to work for him.
I'm just kidding.
We worked for a company in Nashville, and when I walked in for the interview, he hired me. This is late 80s, 86. And I walked into the company, and this is back when people could smoke in an office building. And it's like, my God, the smoke in here. People smoking at their desk, and it's telemarketing, okay? So selling videos. Let your imagination run wild. Anyway, so no, not that kind of stuff. But we're selling video, like movies and stuff like that, Hollywood stuff. So I walked in as I remember to this day, that's the tallest person I've ever seen in my life wearing a suit, and that was my first impression. Just walking through the smoke and haze. So just here he is, 6'8", 6'10", walking through. And his head, was having to duck to go in the door. And I'm thinking, this is the guy I'm interviewing with. And of course, you can't research a company at that time without going to the library. It's like you're walking in blind. And here I got this guy, and he hired me. So we worked together for about 7 months and kept in touch. And he invited me up to the house to shoot, and that's how that got started. So
wow,
yeah, he got me into this, sort of. Yeah, I blame him. I blame him for the gun thing. I blame him for the YouTube thing. So he's the person who wrecked it for me.
I think he got a lot of us into this. He was the reason.
I think he did.
For a lot of us doing this, definitely. I know he was.
That's another episode.
One of the reasons why I got into it, and you too, you and him, and wow.
Yeah, he called me one day, 2007, whenever he posted his first video, and said, "Hey, you remember that Colt? We were shooting, and because I was up there all the time shooting, and he had a steel buffalo target. He said he took his phone." I don't know what kind of crappy phone he had then. And
had to been a flip.
One hand took a 20-second video of him shooting that steel buffalo. That's the first Hickok 45 video. And he said, go to YouTube. And I said, where? He said, go to YouTube and you can find it. And I said, how? And he said, my channel name is Hickok 45. And I'm going, what does that mean? So, seriously. And that's how I
was made.
I think it's still up there. But the first Hickok 45 video was up on the hill, shooting the buffalo with, I think, a 45 long Colt, if I'm not mistaken. But anyway, he said, you might want to do this. I'm like, no, I'll never do anything like that. So that's, yeah.
And then here you are.
Yeah, we were making videos with a Betamax in his yard back around late 80s, early 90s.
Wow.
Yeah. He said he still has that. I hope not. Yeah.
I bet he does. I wouldn't.
So we started making gun videos before people were making gun videos. We just hadn't told anybody.
You just didn't have a place to put them at the time.
No, which is good.
Very cool. So, all the years that you've been doing this now, and I'm sure you can probably remember every video that you've put up, knowing you. I bet you can. What has been your most enjoyable video that you've done? I mean, and ours doesn't count. Our 100th episode doesn't count.
You boys come a long way. What you looking for?
Shooter.
Yeah.
Bob Lee Schwager.
Yeah, and I didn't realize at the time who that was in the movie, the actor. But anyway, gosh, what was his name?
He was that singer.
He passed away not long after. He passed.
Yeah.
Dang it. He was in the band. He was the drummer in the band.
Yeah.
People out there saying, yeah, I know who it was. But that was one of his last movies. But anyway.
I'll look it up.
I am drawing a blank.
I know.
Well, favorite.
Most enjoyable.
Yeah.
Maybe it wasn't your best video, but the one you enjoyed the most.
I like getting out, especially with rifles and iron sight, open sight rifles, and doing things that I have not seen other people do on video. That doesn't mean they haven't done it. They just haven't posted it. So I guess one of those would be 2012, 2013, in one carbine, 300 yards, which is the max on the sights, open sights for that.
Yeah.
I've done stuff like that with ARs. I've done stuff like that. The M1 carbine was probably the best. That's the one I really liked. Yeah, I mean, go out in the woods. It's a day trip. I get out there, and I'm pretty sure I did that one all in one day. So that's another thing. I'm kind of like the project manager. I'm one person shop, but I'd say that one just because I had not seen anybody. I think there's some people out there now with some 500-yard videos with the M1 carbine, which is insane. But I had never seen at that point, again, 2013 or so, someone take that and max out the sights on the M1 carbine at 300 yards. Levon Helm, there he is. Yeah. I mean, heck of a musician.
Oh, yeah.
And then he did, he did that movie with Shooter. He did one with, he was in Fire Down Below with Steven Seagal. And maybe some others.
Yeah, The Right Stuff.
Just a really
well-rounded,
Right, yeah, I mean, entertainer. Yeah, Levon Helm.
Yep.
You boys come a long way. What you looking for? Wisdom. You come to the wrong place. That's insane.
That was a fun video.
Almost wearing the shirt he had in that movie. But,
you are? You're close to it.
So, yeah.
So what was the most disastrous video that you put out, or maybe it didn't make it?
Well, there have been some videos that didn't get posted. There's been a lot. One that did get posted that's done really well. I was so frustrated. 9mm extreme penetrator. It's probably got 4 million views. I don't know, but if you check it, you'll probably what you'll find.
I don't doubt it.
This was 2012, 2013, 2014. At the time, right now, Bill Wilson and his company in Arkansas are making it. They bought the Lehigh product, and I like some of the videos he's done with those products. He does some, pretty decent. I don't want to call them ballistic videos, but they put the blocks out there and give some information. I think they're doing some good work there. I like watching his videos. Bill Wilson, so Wilson Combat, but. When I bought it, I remember where I bought it. It's a gun store no longer in downtown Nashville that had Lehigh ammo in stock. They were around, we're at the old Greer Stadium between 2nd and 4th Avenue. I can't remember the name of it. That's where they were. Bought the ammo. Lehigh at the time, this was a hot topic about copper ammo. That's a whole nother episode, copper ammo. So Lehigh was marketing this as self-defense ammo. This was the 115 grain extreme penetrator, and I'm not even sure it was plus P either way. But it ran pretty hot. So this is one of the first copper bullets that kind of made the mainstream in the gun media, whether it was print or websites or YouTube videos. So I bought a few boxes of it. There it is. What's it got? Holy crap.
4.6 million.
4. Good grief. Check me on my dates. I think it was 2013 or 14.
8 years ago.
That was frustrating in two respects. One, because it does penetrate. It went through everything. And for the time it takes to make a block and cure a block, I think I used SimTest. Gosh, look at that guy's hair. What year is that? So
let's see. It's 8 years ago.
That's like a Burt Reynolds type of hairstyle from what was that movie with Wahlberg? Anyway,
it's the exact same hairdo you got right now. What are you talking about?
Well, I was waiting on that, and thank you for.
You didn't
so anyway, yeah, that was frustrating because when I was filming that scene, we had helicopters flying over. I'm thinking, what the crap? What's DHS doing? Checking out. It was like
2015
Campbell helicopters, all kinds of helicopters flying over, and I'm trying to film that scene. I don't know if I still have the outtakes, but there was a lot of stuff that was like this totally X-rated outtakes. So I was just so frustrated with the helicopters flying over. And then I finally got in the video, and just the time to set it up, to make the blocks, and then it's just, I should have known that was going to happen. But blowing through everything, I was end up putting steel plates, AR 500 plates behind the blocks to catch it, and just the amount of time. It probably took a month to make that video.
Jeez.
Probably took 3 to 4 weeks to make that video, to get it all together. You see it right there. Water jugs, everything is still going. Get to the end of the video, and I was shooting, and I was making my final comments, and I turned around and this was random, just fired a shot at an AR target behind me. Like, hit the target and then said, yeah, okay, well, it didn't go through that, and kind of made a joke. Well, I guess 3 levels of frustration. 1, making the dadgum thing. And 2, the comments. What'd you expect? It's like the worst comments I've had on videos has been this. And I don't like policing that stuff. Just put whatever you're going to put out there. But if you're going to be stupid, I might pin your comment for a month or 2 and let other people beat you up. I'm not going to do it. The internet will do it for me. Okay.
Right.
So that's been proven. Oh, you should have known it was going to do that. It said extreme penetrator. And in some I've come back and said, look, this is what was happening. The company at that time, Lehigh, was advertising this as self-defense ammo. Do you think this is self-defense ammo when it's going to go through 40 inches or something? No, that's not what we're about. That's not what it's about. And then another piece that kind of supported my frustration and confirmed it, I talked to 2 different people. One of them is still a very prominent YouTuber, and I won't mention his name. He's in another state. He knew the people at Lehigh. This was at the NRA meeting after I did that video. And it may have been in Nashville. So 2015. He said, hey, I saw your Lehigh video. I know those people. They were shocked at what that bullet did. They did not expect it to do that. So I'm like, really? They didn't test their own product. And then somebody else at that meeting, I don't remember who that was, but another person who knew me or recognized me said, hey, saw your Lehigh video. I know the Lehigh people, and they did not expect that bullet to do that. So I had 2 people with personal connections to the principles of Lehigh, and apparently Lehigh people advertising it as self-defense, like a Gold Dot, like an HST, like a Golden Saber, like an HST, all the things we know and buy and carry. They expected it to perform that way. No. So that was another level of frustration. 1, making the video. 2, the comments, which continue to this moment, but it's the internet. And then 3, knowing that the company promoted it as self-defense and were selling it as that. And some people will get out there and carry it. If you're in the woods and you're trying to stay away from mountain lions or bears or whatever, then, and this is trying to laugh, then, okay, carry it. It's good for that. But I could also carry 147 grain hard cast.
Right.
I want something heavier if that's my environment. I've learned that. That's what I want. It has its place, but the place that the company who manufactured and marketed the product, that they were advertising it in a place and for a utility that was not correct. Yeah. And I kind of brought that out. So that's, I guess, kind of a good side is a lot of people said, oh, well, I'm glad you showed me that. It's like, yeah, that's how the company marketed this.
So if you
use it for self-defense in the woods, that's not how it was marketed in 2014.
If a bear is attacking you, would you rather have a gun or bear spray?
What's the joke about the bear spray and the bells or whatever, where if you're using bells to scare away, like little jingle bells, to scare away a bear, and you got bear spray, what somebody will find 3 days later is human remains that smell like bear spray and have little bells in it or something like that.
And jingles.
Yeah, there's some jokes like that.
Yeah.
If all I've got is 9mm, if that's all I have for whatever reason against bears, because people ask that question, I think some people actually are serious. I want 147 grain hard cast, and I have a pretty good stash of Underwood 147 grain hard cast just for that. Yeah. Then the question, oh, what about your Glock barrels? I'm not worried about it. I mean, there's a smell. You get a smell. You smell plastic burning when you shoot it out of Gen 3 barrels. You might not have that out of a Gen 5, Gen 5.
Yeah.
But 147 grain hard cast against that. If that's all I've got is a 9mm.
The reason
hopefully I can run.
the reason I asked that is because Paul Markle made a post on social media today about something along those lines, and some dumbass got on there talking about how, it's been proven that bear spray works better than guns in repelling. It's like, okay, buddy, you be the next dinner for that bear.
Well, the other thing now is mountain lions. Man, I was watching a video yesterday. I think I've seen it before. There's several videos out there now where hunters are encountering mountain lions.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. They're becoming quite prevalent, especially in our area, too.
Yep.
Yeah. I have seen one in Nashville, and I've only told this to a few people, so now I'm telling everybody who's still with us at this point. But I saw one in West Nashville. I'm pretty sure that's what it was. Highway 70. Highway 70 north before it meets up with Highway 70 south. So I'm still in Davidson County, out near Nashville Christian School, for those who are from this area. Okay, so you get the gist of it. And you start getting up in elevation, okay, up around Highway 70. I'm heading west toward the Tennessee River. And this was August of 2022. I'm going out for a range day in the woods. And it ran in front of me, right to left, and I almost hit it. And after I was doing, speed limit's like 50, 55 through there, so I'm doing that. And it's like, what the crap? And my first thought was that was the biggest coyote I've ever seen, because it was so long. And then I drove maybe another quarter mile, and I had to pull over the next place I could stop. And I said, wait a minute, that was a mountain lion. The length of the body, the squared off head, the tail, which was, solid, kind of a rope tail, the length of the body, the muscular build. That was not a coyote. It was a mountain lion. I know it was.
I've caught one on my trail cams.
North Davidson County.
I've caught one on my trail cams at my farm.
You've caught them?
On the trail cam. Yeah. Caught images.
You have?
Yeah.
Oh, I'd love to see that.
Yeah.
They're around here, and TWRA says, oh, no. Well, we've got trail cams in Jolton and in your area, and I've seen them in Davidson County, metropolitan Nashville. And I've only told a few people that. Now I've told everybody.
Now everybody knows. The cat's out of the bag, so to speak.
Color and everything else. I said, that was not a coyote. If it was the biggest coyote in the world.
Yeah.
That was a mountain lion. And then when I got thinking about it, I should have been like one of those Russians that have a trail cam or a camera on your dashboard and catch meteorites and other stuff.
Yeah.
I didn't have that. So, yeah.
I know what video
mountain
you're talking
lion,
about.
Davidson County. And you've got them. Okay.
Yeah, I've caught one on the trail cams here.
Love to see that.
We're over by Center Hill Lake.
They're around here, and they're going to multiply unless people
River.
are taking them out and not telling anyone.
I haven't seen one personally. I just caught it on the trail cam.
But still, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah. So let's do this, Tommy. Prentice has got to go. He's getting past his bedtime. So we want to make our special announcement, and then we want to get to listener questions. So, Leadheads, from Whiskey River Beef, we've got some exciting news coming up. In addition to the Black Friday, Cyber Monday discount code of Leadhead, where you get 10% off from now until the end of the year, off any of your orders there, we are also going to we've put together a little something. Prentice, you want to tell them about it?
Absolutely. So we put together a $100 giveaway for those who will take the time to go to our Contact Us page on the whiskeyriverbeef.com site, fill out your name, email, and phone number, and put in the comments section giveaway, and that will register you for the giveaway that we're going to be doing. You can spend $100 anywhere in the store on any product in the store. Super excited to give that to you guys. And again, fill your name, email, number, and type the word giveaway. And we'll be doing that drawing just after the first of the year. And we'll give you a big shout out and be in touch with you.
I just did it.
I see it.
I just sent it. I am the first to enter. So
there you go.
So we're going to start that win now. Does that start now?
Yeah, absolutely. That starts effective right now.
Immediately. So go do that. And then when we're going to announce the winner?
Let's announce that winner the middle of January, and we can get that out to them in January. So middle of January, January 15th, we'll call that expiration date from now till January 15th.
Okay. There you go, Leadhead. So another opportunity to get some of this tasty grass-fed, whiskey mash-fed beef.
That's right.
Can't wait. So you've got some cattle ready to go for the next batch, right? Coming up.
We're actually filling our processing tickets the month of December, which will fill our inventory up even more in January. So we're super excited about being able to continue to add to the inventory list because we're seemingly selling out fast.
So fast. And you should go to my website because I've got a nice little video, Whiskey River. I can't believe you put this on your website yet.
I didn't even know you did it. Now I do.
I told you I was going to do it.
I think you did.
I got a nice little video put up there, but
wonderful.
We're gonna wait. We're gonna wait on those other media pictures that you're getting made. We'll do another one once you get those.
Yes. Yeah, we're really excited about doing those.
So there you go, Leadheads. There's our exciting news from Prentice and Whiskey River Beef. Something to look forward to. Little tasty morsels. And Tommy, you're more than welcome to enter.
Absolutely, Tom.
You're eligible.
Be number 2, buddy.
You're eligible. We'll probably just send you some anyway. So.
Oh man, that'd be special. That'd be great.
Maybe you could shoot, one of your 9mm 147 grain nuclear tipped bullets through it and do a review and then eat it and see what happens.
Then eat it.
Somebody in the comments asked about 10mm being nuclear. So yeah, that's a good segue.
Whiskey River Beef, farm to table with a twist. Come along with us on a quest towards achieving self-sufficiency in food production and fostering a robust local food source to promote good health. Stock up with premium Tennessee beef, unparalleled in flavor and tenderness. You can be confident that you're receiving beef with no added growth hormones or implants. Always pasture-raised, locally USDA processed, and shipped straight to your home. Whiskey River Beef is grass and whiskey mash fed and finished, and is at least 14 days dry aged to enhance the tenderness and give you the most robust flavor imaginable. Go to whiskeyriverbeef.com today to order. Visit us on Instagram at Whiskey River Life and on Facebook at Whiskey River Beef LLC. Whiskey River Beef is a proud sponsor of the Talking Lead podcast and the Leadhead Brigade.
So let's go to our listener questions now. And this is on Instagram, Leadheads. I made the post your questions video. And I'm going there now. I thought it was a pretty good little video. What'd you think about it, Tommy, that I put together there?
Yeah, I think I actually downloaded that because it said I could. So I had a copy of it. I meant to ask you if I could repurpose that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Put it on my... Yeah, I should have done that.
All right.
Good in front of the camera. All right.
First question, Mustang Perry. In your opinion, what is the best 9mm carry ammo? Really happy to see the old school guys still making content. OG, baby.
That's a whole episode. I've got my best EDC ammo, I don't know, 2011, 2012. It really hasn't changed much. I've always been kind of a heavy for caliber 9mm 147. My taste in 147 ammo has changed. I still like the HST. Federal made some changes to that ammo a few years ago. They're now using a double cannelure, which makes it even more of a mechanically bonded type of ammo. I really like the 147 HST. What I don't like about it is how they continue to lower the velocities on it. It really struggles to hit 1,000 feet per second out of a 4-inch barrel. But I like the HST. I used to like the 147 Gold Dot, but the velocities on that are even lower than 1,000 feet per second. I have concerns about it opening up. So when I do carry 147 grain, if I really want to go subsonic, it's going to be the HST. However, my preference these days is really 124 plus P. And there I like the Gold Dot 124 plus P, HST 124 plus P. They're just different construction. And kind of a sleeper that I ran across a few years ago is the Hornady Critical Duty 124 plus P. I like that one better than I do their 135. The 135 velocities have really crapped out lately. So I know it's really HST and, Vista Outdoors centric. Some people are concerned that the company's been sold and all that. I get it. I understand the concerns, but that's just some of the best ammo. It's adopted by law enforcement. I know people personally who have had to use that ammo and deploy it, and it's been good. Those are the best. I just think, you got to be a little more careful. The shorter your barrel, you got to be careful about the bullet construction and velocity. Just to be, anything can pass through. That's something to consider.
Penetration.
But there's just some ammo
it's
these
real.
days. I just don't understand it.
Yeah.
GoDot HST gravitate toward 124 plus P. Standard pressure 124 is fine. It works fine. So my opinions really haven't changed a whole lot, and just a lot of the new stuff the last 3 or 4 years, I'm just not that much of a fan of it. So that's a whole episode right there.
Are you familiar with Defiant Munitions?
I have heard of them, yes.
Okay, so they're one of the sponsors of the show.
Are they loading hot?
He's got 9mm. I was just pulling him up right now to see what grains he's got. So he's got, there's 125 plus P, 115 plus P. Here's 125 plus P. Here's 135 plus. That's not a plus P. It's a TCX. But I'll get him to send you some. I'll get him to send you some.
I'm curious what JHPs they're using.
I think you'll like it.
I think the XTP is underrated. Underwood was loading those. They can't get them anymore. Maybe Hornady stopped distribution of HSTs to wholesale resellers. Maybe that is kind of a general thing, but I'm not opposed to carrying hot gold dots, and I do have some before Underwood shut it down on those.
Yeah. All right, next question is from Pew Pew RN. He said, what happened to the 224 Valkyrie? Seems like its popularity died off quickly.
Yeah, and somebody responded to him as well, so I did catch that.
Corey Brown said, if it wasn't for shit ammo at conception and pandemic shit, it probably would have been a hit, but now that 22 ARC came out, it's up shit creek without a paddle, LOL. PSA, I own a Valkyrie, and it's awesome. So
the responding comment to the original comment, there's kind of a common theme there. So I know of this caliber, secondhand, third hand. I don't own anything on it. I don't have any desire to own anything on it. The second response on that about the pandemic and all, that may or may not play into what's happened with it. I have to believe that relative to when this ammo was released, this was on Federal's project board way before 2020. I mean, would you not agree? Would folks agree? It's been out there kind of like the 30 Super Carry, which is like the handgun ammo version of the 224 Valkyrie.
Yeah.
I did look at when I saw this comment, because I researched this, I looked at the ballistics on it, and it has more pop than 223. It seems like the place for this, if I'm looking at this as a buyer to invest in an upper or a total complete firearm and get into the caliber, it seems to be for people, and correct me if I'm wrong because I could be way off on this, you're looking for a better ballistic coefficient with the heavier bullets. I think what I saw was a 75 grain bullet, hope I'm right on this, running at 3,000 feet per second. It seems to me that they looked at the success in the field for the military of the 77 grain open tip match 5.56 millimeter at around 2,800 feet per second, which increased the effective range of 5.56 out to about 600 yards. Okay, based on what I've been reading, it seems like this was kind of in the back of their mind. What are we looking at? Was it a 75? I thought I saw 75 grain. So They kind of went with the high end of the 5.56 or 223 bullet weight, but gave it some more juice. So that's what it looks like. It's an intermediate round before you start getting into like 6mm and so forth. Okay. That's where I see this space for the ballistic potential of it. So I guess as a buyer or user of it, what am I getting out of this? I'm not getting out of high-end custom loaded 5.56 or 223 in its heaviest weights. What am I getting there that I would need to invest in this? So you would think these are questions that Federal's team considered in developing this caliber, not knowing the pandemic was going to happen. That's not on them. But it just seems that pandemic or not, let's just say it didn't happen. I don't know. What is this bringing to the table? It just seems like it's taken the heavier end of 223, 5.56, putting more juice behind it, more effective range, longer yardage on effective range, and that's your zone. So are you hunting enough? What are you hunting that you're kind of going there? How many rounds are you shooting per year? I don't know. When I looked at this, that's kind of how I would look at it if I were going to be a consumer for 224 Valkyrie. And perhaps some folks figured out, kind of did the research and said, this just doesn't fit a space for me that I can't already achieve with something I already own. And that's another topic, is maybe someday, what calibers have I gotten rid of the last 5 years? What calibers have I invested in? I've not invested in any new calibers the last 5 years, but I've gotten rid of 5 or 6.
Name one you've gotten rid of.
That's just where I am. But and there's a lot of reasons for that. I'm happy to explain that sometime. So I think we should look at some of these calibers in a Venn diagram and say, okay, let's define these 10 calibers that meet this utility for hunting at this distance. Okay. Where does the 224 fit in that, 270, 5.56, 6mm? Where does that fit? And is there enough momentum there to make this caliber work? I don't think it's ever going to happen. That's my end statement on it, for a lot of reasons.
Yeah, I've got very little trigger time.
Federal crap the bed on this, but I just don't know that they considered the whole picture on it and the consumer market.
Yeah, I don't know.
Again, I'm not in the industry. I don't know. That's just me as a consumer looking at it. So yeah. I don't know if that helps these folks with their question, but I think that's why the popularity had died off. If it's not going to get momentum, it's just not going to happen. And I don't think it's going to be one of those that 10 years down the road, the 224. No, if it's not going to make it, it's not going to make it. And I feel that way about 30 Super Carry. That's the same thing. It's just their handgun version of their handgun caliber. Yeah, same theme.
All right, next question. P-Man 301, does 10mm actually hit with the force of a small nuclear warhead?
Yeah, it does. If you're if you're loading your own, or, double tap used to have good velocities. I don't know what they are these days. I think buffalo bore would be good. And I have a lot of experience with Underwood's 10mm. I think 10mm, and that's a caliber I got out of a few years ago. I got out of it for the second time in my life. I got out of it and then got back in, and I'm out. I don't foresee going back. But there's so much utility there, especially if you're, getting ammo designed around what it was when the caliber first came out. As Jeff Cooper envisioned this in the Bren 10 and the Don Johnson Miami Vice and all that. That's what this caliber was about. Commercial loads from your big companies just fall way short. I think 180 is an incredibly 10mm 180 running the high end of 40 caliber, but you're running, 1,200 feet per second with a 180. That's 20% greater velocity compared to commercial 40 180. That's incredible self-defense load. And then, of course, hunting with 200 grain and heavier, such a versatile caliber. So it's one of the best semi-automatic power, like brute force calibers for self-defense or hunting without getting into magnums. That's the caveat. So I know they're kidding, but it's good stuff.
So 10 millimeter or 45?
If I had a choice,
Yeah.
I mean, I've got a lot of experience with both. There's just different utility for them. I'm not going to use a 45 for hunting unless that's all I have.
Self-defense.
Was that a question?
No, that's mine.
For self-defense?
That's my question.
Self-defense, 45. Yeah. It doesn't have to be a full 5 1/4 inch 1911. It could be a 4.5 inch. But with that 45, I shoot them both well. But 45 is just a lot. The quality of commercial ammo you can get is kind of on par. Yeah.
So against a bear.
9mm, 115 grain extreme penetrator.
So not a 10, not a 45. You do the 9mm extreme pen.
You missed that. No.
Oh, I'm sorry. What'd you say?
10mm between 45 and 10 against a bear. 10mm all day long. Heavy, 200 grain or heavier.
Okay.
With momentum. So combination of mass and velocity. 180 is too light, even with a bonded bullet. 200 grain or heavier. Bonded bullet or hard cap, running hot. You want it to go, mouth to rear end. If that's what you got, you want to hit a lot. You want to break a lot of things.
Do you reload?
No, and I saw that question.
Yeah, I didn't think you did.
I can't answer. Yeah, I don't reload. I've considered it. I have family that's reloaded. I have neighbors that reload, and people say, "Really, you don't reload?" No, I get it. The technical nature. I've helped Hickok reload. I've helped other people reload. But that person's question, which I think may have been the first question that came up on this, I unfortunately can't help them with the product. I just, all the years I was getting Dillon catalogs, that's definitely a product I would look at. I'm going to assume this individual who asked the question has done the cost benefit analysis and looking at least breaking even with their investment. Of course, you got to figure time relative to buying commercial ammo. Depends on how much they're shooting. They didn't mention that. They didn't mention calibers. And I get it. Some people don't care if they're saving money. They like the process and the technical aspect of reloading. And I think that's fantastic. So there's a lot of space for why you would want to reload. It just might be something you enjoy doing. So there wasn't enough in the question, but to answer their specific question, I can't give them a product or a lane. I'm just hoping that they have already asked those questions just to confirm this is how they want to go, saving money or not. Maybe they just want to do it.
Well, I think he's just as
because
a
of the
beginner.
times that we're in, having components on hand.
Yeah, I think he's coming at it from a beginner as a starter. What's a good reload machine for somebody just getting into it? What is Hickok use? You know which one he uses?
I've been in his shop a lot, but I can't even remember what presses he was using.
Yeah.
I mean, he had, last time I was in there, he has 5 or 6 presses set up on that bench.
Yeah, I can
and
imagine.
We would sit there and talk. We haven't done that in a while, but he would sit there and crank out, he would cast his own bullets. So he was running 44 Magnums, 45 Colt, 357 Magnum, just lead, like wad cutters, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wish I could answer that person. When I saw them, I'm going, I can't. I don't know. I can really help them.
That's okay. Jerry Black, we'll get that in another episode. We'll help you out. We'll get a reloader on here. B. Hurst 87, 1911 or Striker, and what is your favorite firearm?
Both. I like the 1911. I had not owned a 1911 or 45 until I bought my Colt Series 80, and I bought it in March of 2011 on the 100-year anniversary and did a video of that. I like the 1911 because I have found that I found that to be a platform that I think a new shooter, and of course, how many generations that was the first firearm they shot and they had to do it in combat.
Yeah.
Which is amazing. So,
still in service today too.
I think for the ease of learning to shoot a handgun, because of the weight, because of the sight radius, talking a government style, the ammo, which 45 velocities have dropped as well out of a 5 1/4 inch barrel, the trigger. I think that's, the grip angle, the freaking trigger I mean, I've made hits at 100 and 200 yards with the 1911, and just the sight radius, just the width of the slide, the grip. There's so many things. You look at a firearm that's now over 110 years old that still works, and somebody could buy that at 21 years old or whatever and carry that the rest of her life and be a freaking ninja with it.
Yeah.
Striker fire. Again, Glocks, Smiths. I've tried Springfields. At the time, they didn't work for me. I think there's a place for both, depending on utility. For self-defense, my choice is going to be a striker fire. But I so much appreciate the 1911.
What is your all-time favorite firearm? Doesn't necessarily have to be a pistol. But what's your all-time favorite firearm? Could be a shotgun.
Well, the Glock 19, and then probably the M1 carbine.
M1 carbine. Yeah, that's a fun gun to shoot.
Yeah, I mean, I'd wanted one forever. When I found one at a local dealer, I just freaked out, and it was in good condition. I'd love to have another one, but not for $2,000 for the condition you're getting. Yeah. And just the history of it. There's just so much history on that. I mean, not just World War II, but the Korean War. And one of my neighbors used it in the Vietnam War. Like, really? He brought me some ammo from the 60s. So one day he said, "So where'd you get that?" So I brought that back. I was like, "What?" From Vietnam. Had an M1 carbine. So,
wow.
The history of it. Yeah. It's not the best thing out there in the field, but yeah. The Glock 19 and the M1 carbine.
Bailey Muller 80. What are your thoughts on replacing 5.56 with the new 277 Fury? Would you have advocated for a different solution if you had the power?
I caught that comment just before, and I'm going, okay, I need to get up to date on this. 277 Fury, I'm seeing 140 grain. Looks like a CNC machined, high ballistic coefficient, very accurate bullet. 140 grains, roughly 6 millimeter, 2,900 feet per second. I'm looking at another screen over here.
Yeah.
2,600, there's numbers mean something. 2,600 foot-pounds of energy, power factor of 407. So power factor, you look at power factor, I erased all that, never mind. It's like 6 times the power factor of a 45 ACP at the muzzle. Okay. How that compares to 5.56. 5.56, you're running the heaviest, like 77 grain, 2,800 feet per second, 1,300 foot-pounds. So what I'm seeing here, just in the math, is double the muzzle energy, almost double the heaviest weight you're going to typically shoot commercially in a 5.56 platform. Double the momentum, double the power factor, double everything. And what I read about it in a couple of articles was the accuracy potential at 600 meters. They used meters. And then the suppressive nature of being able to hit around, a man-sized target at 1,200 meters. You're talking over half a mile. So it sounds like it's increasing the effective range. The other thing that some research mentioned was the weight. Mm-hmm. So when you're talking about practicality in the field military, which is what it's designed for, again, it could filter down the consumer market. I'm thinking this is going to be a designated marksman type of ammo. Maybe its intent is to place the Mark 12 rifle, which typically shoots 75 or 77 grain bullet. I don't think of an 18-inch barrel, although they make it with a 16-inch barrel. I think this was a 16-inch barrel, which is even more impressive. So to me, and they were saying in the articles I read, this is not going to replace 5.56 for the foot soldier across the board. It's going to be very specialized. That's where I see this going, is to replace the designated marksman rifle, the Mark 12, for something that's more effective, more accurate, higher ballistic coefficient, and delivering upon impact higher degree of energy at 600 meters, which I didn't look at the math on that. But when it's starting out double, 77 grain at the muzzle, yeah, I like what I see here. There's definitely a place for it. Then you get into the consumer market, what they can do with hunting ammo and competition. So I see this as a triple threat. But for the military, it seems like the designation is going to be very specific and maybe replacing segments of military elements now. Does that make sense? That one, I like my response on that one.
No, I mean,
I like my response.
Definitely makes sense, but like you said, it's going to be, if the military is going to adopt it, it'll be like for specialty use. They're not going to replace the 5.56.
I think it's specialty use for designated marksmen, like counter sniper type of stuff.
Possibly, yeah. That's the role that it'll play.
There's some good math there when you look at it. Then you apply that. When I say apply, utility and application, and it seems like it's going to be very specific without them coming right out and saying it. That's my take on it.
Yeah, and I don't know why he's comparing it to the 5.56, other than maybe that's because that's what the military uses, but it's more along the lines of like a 6.5 Creedmoor or a 300 Win Mag or 308 or something along those lines.
I two things there. I think it's a fair comparison because it is a step up, because apparently they're going to replace some 5.56 applications with this. I think that's the intent. The other thing you mentioned, 6.5 Creedmoor, and without getting in the weeds, there was some very positive, comparisons of this to 6.5 Creedmoor in the research I was looking at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It seems to be.
I jumped on that one just before our call today.
Yeah, that seems to be the closest comparison. But yeah, good question.
Yeah.
Let's see. Corey Brown, what are your thoughts on the 6 ARC and Hornady's new VT bullet offerings?
I didn't do a lot on the VT bullet offerings. I think Hornady's a very general statement. It's all going to be about improving ballistic coefficient. I think that's where we are now with CNC machining and the way they can design bullets and make bullets now. I think we're going to see more copper long range bullets. I've dissected a lot of 77 grain and heavy bullets, and it's just amazing some of the technology in this. And this is like a step up. So very general. I haven't really dug into the VT bullet offerings with regard to the 6 ARC. So there you're looking at 108 grain bullet, 6 millimeter, 108 grains, so lighter than the 277. So 108 grains, 2750 feet per second, 1800 foot-pounds. So it's not as powerful as the 277 Fury. Momentum is a bit less. Power factor. Yeah, this to me seems like a medium game. 108 grains. That's really light for a hunting round. I don't even see that as a deer round. Maybe at 100 yards. I'm trying to figure out where that's going.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the math and then thinking, okay, yardage, energy, application. What? It's an intermediate round. I mean, that's what these ammo companies are doing. You look at the 277. There's a military application there, clearly. But this, I'm trying to figure out, what is this going to replace what I already own and am using or am evaluating? And I'm just not seeing enough yet to justify it. But that's just, again, that's me. But I'm trying to not look at this as somebody who's kind of, been doing this for a while. I'm trying to look at it. Maybe I'm 25, 30 years old and looking at this. What do I want to know about it? I'm looking at application. I'm just trying to figure out what's it doing that I can't find in another caliber if I'm looking just for a hunting caliber.
Yeah.
Because that's clearly what this is. But for what? Yeah. Yeah. It's much more pop than a 5.56 or 223, but, are you playing with 270? What are you doing here? So, yeah, that's how I'm thinking about it. I mean, it may not answer their question, but hopefully it maybe plugs in.
Give them something to think about.
Lanes that they can pursue on their own to figure out if this is what they want. That's the best I can do on that one.
No, and that's good. I think that's most of them. Tongue for Twisting asked, how did you get started? And we kind of went into that and talked about that already.
Yeah, we hit that one. Yeah.
So,
did we get everything?
Yeah, I think that's got them all. It's got most of them there. I get so much shadow banned. I mean, it just depends on when I make the post and when it goes out as to how many people it goes to. So this one didn't get out to as many as it normally does.
Yeah, this check-in that I kind of undertook a couple of months ago, and we'll see how long it goes. I'm really noticing the effects of shadow banning and being inactive for a couple of years.
Yeah, it's tough.
Channel was still doing really well a couple of years ago, but seems like right now I haven't helped myself with the algorithm. That's on me. But the shadow banning is real. It is. I mean, everything's being monetized. I'm surprised, pretty much, which is great because it helps, pour back in. Because I turn everything around, buying stuff like this, like an ACOG and things like that. When it piles up enough, I buy something, and I hope might do something with the ACOG next year as far as a review of that. And as a review there, talk about it for 40 seconds, and then actually do some point of view if I can get that to line up. So that's on the project board.
Yeah,
because there's some ACOG point of view out there, but you don't see a lot. And it's basically somebody in their backyard. God bless them. Like I wouldn't want a neighbor to see me doing that. I lived in a,
bless their hearts,
small yard. And like, look out, oh, dude with an ACOG. You're dialing it up, but just showing what it does. That's something. But I want to actually shoot it at 300 yards. I got a 300 yard range, so I want to actually show it. We'll see if that happens.
Yeah.
So
we talked about doing this a little bit too, and we're running kind of long on time, but I do want to touch on some of the Black Friday, Cyber Monday deals that are going, and I'm sure all you lead heads are getting inundated with these emails from all of the companies on 3 or 4 a day, maybe more. But from our sponsors, Seal One. You use that code LEADHEAD, you get 25% off. That's still probably like the best deal they've got going, but they are on Amazon now, and you can get some of the Seal One products on Amazon. So if you've got like Amazon points, or you might be able to take advantage of some free shipping, that maybe that 25% may not be as good as maybe you can get from the Amazon. So just wanted to give you a heads up that Seal One is on Amazon right now. So just search for Seal One, CLP, gun cleaning products, something like that. It'll come up, and I think they're like 20% off from what you get on the website at Amazon. But then when you add the free shipping and, like I said, if you've got points that you could use, then it might be a better deal for you. So just wanted to give you a heads up on that, let you know that.
Introducing the Extreme Duty Polymer Mag from Mission First Tactical. MFT brings long-glass fiber technology to its new Extreme Duty Polymer Mag, giving it the best strength and durability for polymer magazine bodies to date. With military and law enforcement demanding reliability, the Extreme Duty Polymer Mag is 50% stronger and 3 times more impact resistant compared to traditional glass-filled nylon. The 4-way anti-tilt self-lubricating follower, constant internal curve design, and coated USGI spec stainless steel spring together keep rounds feeding reliably. Additionally, the oversized bolt catch increases bolt catch clearance. We have added a flared floor plate, but kept the slim bottom design, which gives excellent drop protection and ease of handling, while still allowing for fitment in double and triple magazine pouches. Toolless disassembly and double safety releases stop accidental ammo dumps and makes cleaning a snap. A thickened lower exterior adds to dimensional rigidity and maintained internal geometry, while well-defined front and rear rib finger impressions create aid in handling even with gloved hands. And texture blocks on both sides of the body are ideal for thumb placement. This Duty Mag also features dual-sided flat body panels for a variety of printed or laser designs. The Extreme Duty Polymer Magazine is optimized for use in Colt Spec AR-15M4 platforms, but is also compatible with other platforms such as HK416 variants, British SA-80, FN SCAR 16, and more. To find out more, visit www.missionfirsttactical.com.
And then Mission First is still leadhead, 20% off. They're probably going to run some sporadic deals throughout Black Friday, Cyber Monday. So be checking their post on Instagram. If you're signed up to their email, check their emails because they're probably going to be running some deals too that are pretty sweet. So make sure you check out Mission First Tactical. And then Defiant Munitions is going to run something. He didn't send me the specs on it yet. Let me check my message here from him. But they will be putting something together. But the code LEADHEAD gets you 10% off right now at Defiant Munitions. So if you use the code LEADHEAD, all caps, you get 10% off Defiant Munitions. But check their social medias and their website, sign up for their email. They're putting together something. And then from Kraken Cases, they're not doing Black Friday or the Cyber Monday, but they're going to be doing an early December buy one, get one promo. So you can still use the discount code LEADHEAD, get 15% off, or I'm sorry, 10% off. It's Talking Lead at Kraken Cases. Talking Lead, 10% off. But be checking December, and I'll make an announcement on a December show once he makes it go live, but they're going to be having a buy one, get one on their cases there. Are you familiar with Kraken Cases, Tommy? You heard of them? Yeah, you went mute.
I was muted. No, I am not.
Okay, so what's really special about them is this foam that they've got, and I've got one right here. Take this off of it. They've got like this super. Can you see my? Have I stopped sharing my screen?
I can see it. I got you.
Okay, yeah. So,
the screen share you did stop.
Okay, good. Yeah, so you can see my camera now. So it's got this foam in it. It's like super squishy kind of memory foam.
It did not look like it was going to be super squishy.
Yeah, but it's super squishy.
I was not expecting that.
It is, where's my knife at? It's cut resistance. So you can take your knife to it and try to cut it. And this is a super
complete
sharp,
opposite of what I expected.
super sharp knife. Like, I can't remember the degrees, like 800 degree or something, I don't know, heat resistant. So you could take your can, if you had a hot gun. They've got full-size rifle cases too. This is just one of their pistol cases. And you could put it in there and not worry about it melting it. So super cool size. They got 3 different size cases right now. They've even got ammo cases. But they're really nice cases. I got a couple of these, and I got a one for your iPro. Here it is right here. So they got like a smaller one. But yeah, so you guys, that's coming. And then Keltec, I haven't heard back from them, so I don't know if they're going to be running anything yet or not. But I did get in touch with CJ Johnson at Pioneer Arms Corps USA, the AK company, and they are going to be doing, like, I think through, where's it at? He's going to be making an announcement November the 27th that for the month of December, every Friday, the month of December, they're going to be giving away a free gun. And he's going to give the details November the 27th. So be watching their Instagram, their Facebook, their website. And once he sends me the exact details, I'll let you guys know. But they're going to be giving away probably like an AK or something, maybe a PPSH, I don't know. But on Christmas Day, they're going to give away a PM63 in addition to that. So through the month of December, Pioneer Arms Corps USA. So that's something that you guys need to be aware of. So Tommy, you need to get in on that. Get free guns. You know what a PM63 is?
Is it an AK?
No, but it is a
No.
PM. I'll pull it up for you here. Really cool little pistol kind of deal. I got to shoot a full auto one when I went to Poland.
It sounds like an AK.
It is not. It's a pistol. I share my screen. One of these little deals.
Good grief.
Yeah, pretty sweet.
Looks like an early Uzi.
Yeah.
It has some Uzi characteristics.
The grip definitely. The grip definitely looks Uzi-ish. But I got to shoot. I've got a video of me shooting that. I should have pulled it up in Poland when I was in Poland.
Oh, actually, I have honestly never heard of that.
Yeah, pretty cool little gun there. It shoots. What was the original round here?
Say a 9x18 or a 9x25.
Yeah, 9x18.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, I got that right.
Yeah, you did. 1965 to present, still being used, and they're still being manufactured by Pioneer Arms. So I think they've got those available again for sale here. But I mean, if he's giving one away, I would assume that they're going to be doing that. So That's pretty cool from Pioneer Arms. So be watching that. Like you said, November the 27th, I think is when he's going to have the details on all that. So, what about you? Have you run across any super special, seen any Black Friday deals in these junk emails that you've been getting?
I'm not really looking right now. My mindset is to wait until December, end of December, early January. That's going to be a window for me to buy, and I'm going to have to prioritize. Yeah, but what you said, the junk emails, I think we talked about this earlier, just the garbage I'm getting.
Yeah.
I mean, just garbage. But I've got some companies, and I've bought from them, so I'm on the list. I'm not going to mention the name, but for example, and on my phone, I have 4 emails, and kind of a quick joke on my phone. This could be a contest. How many Ballistic apps do you have on your mobile device? If you're like me, you have 4 or more Ballistic apps on your phone, you might be a redneck, because I have 4. Okay. So just thought I'd throw that out there. That could be a contest. How many Ballistic apps do you have on your mobile device? That's just ridiculous. But emails, yeah, I'm getting a bunch, and I have 4 email. I have 6 personal. I think I have 6 personal email accounts. Don't ask why. But one of those, I lost it. You mentioned spam. I mean, one of these accounts, just in the last week or two, I have 316 suspect email. And yeah, I mean, Bed Bath & Beyond is on there for some reason, but
they went out of business, didn't they?
What's that?
Didn't Bed Bath & Beyond go out of business?
Yeah, I don't know why I'm still getting this unless they're selling online. They're bankrupt. But yeah, I've got some companies where I bought ammo, and I still support them every way I can. But 3 emails a day, and it's different topics. That's just a little much. But yes, you're right. This has really escalated in the last week, and I know it's going to be that way this week on all my email accounts, having to filter through that.
So just looking at my email right here, I've got today. Just looking at today's. This company called Delta Team Tactical, which I've never bought anything from a Delta Team Tactical. Don't know how they got this account. This isn't my main account. I've got an account that I use just for like junk stuff. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 emails from this one company in one day.
That's pretty close to a record I've had as well. I mean, I'm looking at, I'll just say the names. I'm looking at.
Say the names.
Just today, I've had, let's say the last 24 hours, the last 24 to 36 hours, I've had, there's an Academy Sports Black Friday deal. Academy Sports Black Friday deal. Same email, same day, 12 hours apart. Academy Sports, BOGO, off shirts. Academy Sports, Black Friday. Okay. Those 2 emails were about an hour apart. There's another one, Academy Sports, 50% off hot deals, clothes. I bought clothes and belts there. I mean, good grief. Stanley Tumblers, Academy Sports. That's all in the last 48 hours. 5 or 6, 7.
Yeah.
Ammunition Depot, I get 3 or 4 a day from them, and they're not my number 1 online. That's something I've got to look. I mean, I've got to buy some things. I'm good on magazines for everything. Ammo, I've got a class coming up, and I've already got ammo for it. It's just replacing that. And the videos I'm doing, I'm trying to replace some of that ammo. There's some calibers. That's a topic, is ammo management. So another topic is, we talked about calibers. One thing I'm doing right now, and it's going to have to get into 24, is I'm looking at my ARs, 5.56, looking at barrel lengths, twist rates, and I'm kind of partitioning my ammo inventory toward the barrel rate, the twist rate and barrel length that best matches that. So, I've got a lot of 55 grain FMJ. I've got a lot of 62 grain green tip. So I'm really determined this batch fits here, this batch fits here, but then I'm looking at 75, 69, 75, 77 grain, 223 and 5.56 pressures, and making sure I've got that matched up to this rifle where I know that's my 500 yard AR. I have expectations of that, but I know not to expect more than that. That's it. I can't. This is not realistic.
Right.
This is realistic and here down. And I've got my 300-yard ACOG, and what ammo runs that. That's kind of anal, but that's how I'm looking at it. I'm kind of going that approach as opposed to looking at a 6.8 or a 277 when that goes commercial.
Yeah. So
That's
you're
kinda where I'm
matching
at,
ammo for each
consolidating.
rifle that you've got. You're doing a.
I'm lost you on audio.
I said you're doing
Gotcha.
a ammo match for each rifle that you have. Specific rifle,
Pretty much, yeah.
setup.
I'm looking at
Optic,
what's the utility
barrel.
for that AR as opposed to going out and just buying a bunch of stuff just because it's new and looks good. And that gets into what calibers I've gotten rid of the last 5 years, handguns and rifles. And really where I'm focused now and looking at inventory for those and what the utility, and especially for the ARs, what can I expect as far as grouping with that ammo? I want to match the ammo to maximize what that particular product, for this 16-inch barrel with the ACOG, that's 55 to 62 grain. That's the platform for me with the ACOG and what I can do with accuracy.
Yeah.
I've got it dialed in for 300 yards. I want to get it a little tighter than what I've got, but it's a 3 MOA battle sight right now. That's good,
Yeah.
with a 1-to-9 twist. So that's kind of where I'm at. One, that's a project. It's fun, but I know that when I'm done with it, I can pick up a box of ammo and that goes with that for that application. If I'm hunting deer, which I've dropped some deer with 223, but it's like right now I've got 62 grain Federal Fusion in there because of coyotes back here.
Yeah.
Like, why aren't you running 55 grain ballistic tip? No, I like that. That works. It's kind of against the grain, but no pun intended. The 62 grain soft points for coyotes at 50 to 100 yards. Oh my gosh.
Take
Wicked.
your little 9mm carbine out there and pop some coyotes with that.
Well, that's what I've got. When you're running 124 plus piece spear gold dots at nearly 1,400 feet per second out of a 9mm carbine, that's nasty stuff on a 40-pound varmint.
It'll
Got
drop a
gray
yoke.
foxes coming in back here every night. People have chickens around here and small pets. They're predators. We're overrun with that stuff because no one's hunting around here.
Yeah, I got them out here too.
Yeah, it's just like I'm just trying to help people keep their pets and their chickens. There's people here that use eggs. They have chickens for eggs for food.
Yeah. A lot of people do
that's
that.
where we are.
Yeah, smart, self-sufficient. So, Tommy, what's your next project? What do you got coming up? What can people look forward to from you next on your next YouTube videos?
Well, I'm hoping so we're looking at November 20th doing this. I'm looking at hopefully by December or into the first week, I've got the review of the Shield Plus. I don't want to make this a 17-minute video. It's like, get the data points out there. What are people looking for when they're shopping for this? And I've got to keep in mind folks like you and I who've done this for a while. But I've got to be very considerate of people who might be jumping into a video for the first time, looking at a handgun for the first time. What are they looking for? So I've got to have those points as well. That's on the docket. That's in the very early stages. This I would like to get done in the next 3 or 4 days around Thanksgiving is the point of view video, putting a camera behind the Vortex Crossfire, and it's sighted for 50 yards. So this will be kind of the backyard version. So I can shoot up to 80 yards back here. So a backyard version of this, a quick 2-minute video, running some 9mm tracers, running different targets, movement. So it's going to be like Call of Duty with a 9mm carbine and red dot. And that's pretty extreme, but that's kind of what's in mind with that. Okay. What else?
You ever thought about writing a book?
My project board. What's that?
You ever thought about writing a book?
No, I've helped some people write some articles, and I had someone reach out to me on Instagram a couple of months ago, and he wants me to write an article for a concealed carry blog, and I'm going to do it. I don't want anything for it. I just want to help him. He shared with me earlier this week, he has some other people who I recognize in the industry who have partnered up with him. It's like, well, it's cool. It's kind of cool to be in that group. So I'm working on that, and I said, I'll do that for you. I don't want anything from you. Just use it. I'll give you photos, proprietary content I've created. I'm going to let you use it in your blog. So I'm happy to do that for folks. He's trying to get off the ground with it. So that'll be coming up. and I'll probably share that on Instagram when it's out so people can reference it. I said, but it's going to have to be end of the year. I've got a lot of stuff lined up into January that I don't have time to sit down. That, other videos, like I said, got a couple of dozen projects. I'm just trying to be creative, find something different. I think people might want to look at, but I want to have fun putting it together. I want it to be different. So a couple of dozen projects, see how many of those make it through the pipeline. Some will get kicked. That's already happened. Others will get added. I'll wake up in the middle of the night, it's on a spreadsheet, get on the phone, put it in, upload it in my cloud, and I've got it and it's current. It's pretty stupid, isn't it? So, I've got a project board in the cloud, and then I'll update it every day, prioritize, put a note, and I have a file of what am I doing here so I don't forget. Plug some, let's do that. Plug that in. Crazy. Wow. So it's a project board, and there's a project under each project.
Do you ever go to SHOT Show or NRA? Do you ever go to any of those?
I've been to a couple of NRAs, but it's been years. Met Donald Trump at 2015 NRA here in Nashville. He just happened to walk through the exhibits.
Yeah.
Nobody knew that. And there he is, like, well, crap. So shook his hand, said hello, that type of stuff. Got a picture of it. Went to the one in Indy before that. Some others, I just decided not to go. There's been some concealed carry CCA, US CCA meetings, but they're typically in Texas or somewhere else is like crap, paying for all this out of pocket. So I got to look at that. SHOT is way out of my league. But then I see other people going that don't have the subscriber base, video views count as well. And people don't look at that, but
you should be going.
Like somebody's got. I'm not spending $4,000 to go out there, and I can make a bunch of videos and get interviews and just let people talk, unlike me running my yap here. But just let people tell their story and engage. That's what I want to do, but I'm not paying for that out of pocket. I'm not taking the time off work to do it either. This is a hobby. It has become a part-time job. There were times where it became a full-time job years ago. That can never happen again. And when I feel myself, the pressure of that whatever, just like, no, I've got to dial it back. And when I look at 13 videos in 10 weeks, that can't continue. It's going to be 1 a month, maybe 2 a month, maybe 0. But if you ever see a lapse of 6 or 7 months or longer, there's a chance the lights have been turned off. I want to postpone that. It's inevitable. It's going to happen. I want to postpone it as long as I can.
Is that your choice or is that your wife's choice?
That's going to be it. So I've got other stuff I got to work on. So yeah, that's time consuming. My job, I'm not a 9-to-5 job. It's whatever hours I can plug in when I can. If I want to plug in on Sunday, I'll plug some hours in. It's not a 9-to-5 job. It can be, but I don't want it to be.
Can be. If you want it to be, we can get things covered.
Yeah, we can have a conversation. I'm open to a conversation, but this has got to stay a hobby that when it kind of bubbles up into creativity and I want to share it, that's when a video comes up. I
seriously think that, and you seem like the type of person that takes notes and you keep a diary and you do a, what's it called? A journal?
Project?
A journal. Do you keep a journal?
Really.
You don't keep a journal?
Not so much. It's basically a summary. It's a summary.
Yeah.
That's it. It's a summary because most of it's here. I just need that. I need something to kind of ground me and bring me back. So for every video, I'll start a summary on a spreadsheet, plug it into a folder, which is under another folder, which is under another folder. And all the videos from all the years past are in folders. They're in the cloud. They're backed up.
Yeah. I think it'd be very interesting, though, if you wrote a book. I think there's a market for a TNOUTDOORS9, not necessarily just a book on ballistics, but just how you go about what you do, why you do it, that kind of stuff. I think it'd be very interesting. You're an interesting cat.
I don't know.
You're an interesting dude.
Maybe a short video.
No.
If I ever wrap it up, would be
no. You're like very meticulous.
2.5-minute autobiography.
You'd be good. You'd be good.
Watch maybe the first 30 seconds of it.
A good book. So speaking of books, our good buddy Nicholas Orr has a new book out now, and we mentioned it a few episodes back. It's A Pipe Hitter's Guide to the Modern Minuteman. and it's out now. I got my copy. So Nicholas Orr. And then, of course, our good buddy Paul Markle, student of the gun, has his new book out. It's called How to Shoot Better Than a Navy SEAL by Paul G. Markle. And you can get both these on Amazon, or you can go to Student of the Gun. I think you can get them both at Student of the Gun, too. So this is going to be some Thanksgiving reading that I do. I've got a little bit. Real quick reads. They're not real thick books, so it won't take much time to read those, and it's big print. So just wanted to let you lead heads know that, so go check those books out too. Make sure you go and support all those that made this show possible. Mission First Tactical, again, use these discount codes because that's how they know they're hearing about you here on the show. Leadhead, 20% off Mission First Tactical. You go to seal1.com, use the code Leadhead, get 25% off Seal1. Go to Factory 47 for our AK Corner logoed items. Go to Factory 47, get the code Leadhead, 10% off Factory 47. Of course, Defiant Munitions, I mentioned them earlier. Leadhead, all caps, 10% off Defiant Munitions. And Keltec, go to Keltec Weapons. Anything in their shop, I don't have one of their shirts on now, but I've worn a couple of their new shirts in some previous videos. I've got my new logo shirt. How do you like my new logo, Tommy? The new Talking Lead logo versus the old logo there. You remember our old logo?
There's more. I'm seeing more contrast here. In other words, it seems like it's more open.
It's less busy.
I'm noticing more.
Oh, I got all that one covered up. But you remember the old logo with the bullet mic and the flying bullets and.
Yeah, no. It seems to be. I see more definition.
Cleaner. Here. It's cleaner.
Yeah, I guess that's what I'm looking for. I see more definition.
Yeah. So I am in the process of getting our shop set up so that you guys can get our logoed items, T-shirts, hats, our leadies. We're going to come out with all kinds of stuff. So be on the lookout for that. In the meantime, you can go to dipstickbranding.com and do a search on Talking Lead, and you can get our stuff from Danny there at Dipstick. And then for these awesome walls, you see my gun's hanging on behind me. You can go to Lockdown, lockdown.com. Use the code Leadhead, get 15% off any of their secure walls or they got a lot of safe products too, stuff for your safe and alarms and monitors and all kinds of cool stuff. And then mention Kraken Cases. Go to krakencases.com. Talking Lead, 10% off there. So that's it. That's the codes I've got. I might be forgetting one or two, but if I didn't, we'll pick it up in another show. But Tommy, I really appreciate you taking the time to be on and catching up with me and the Leadheads. I know they're going to enjoy this episode.
Well, thanks for, again, you scraped the bottom of the barrel to pull me out of the cave and get me on here. But we talked about this, I guess, a couple of months ago. So
yeah,
it's been 9 years, so we did have a lot to catch up on.
We did, and we still got more. So I would love to have you back on the show. And
we didn't get to the Mythbusters, so we can that's
well, let's do that because I was gonna not wrap it up completely because it is Thanksgiving and everybody is giving thanks during the holiday here. What's something that you're thankful for?
I'm thankful for people. There's a lot of things to be thankful for, but I'm thankful for people who still adhere to the foundation on which this country was built and still find a value proposition in the vision that was created almost 250 years ago. And with the means that we have now to communicate and grow, they put the distractions aside and still maintain, I guess, that sense of balance or vision as to what made this country great. And I'm not doing the MAGA thing here. I'm just saying that there's still people who believe in that. It seems like there's been more of an awakening, people coming to that realization or getting into the realization and being more visible and vocal about it. So that I find very encouraging. And I think that's good. I hope that's going to pay off for all of us for a lot of Thanksgivings.
Yeah. Well said. Well said. I'm thankful for and not YouTube necessarily, because I hate YouTube. I think they're the devil. I think they should burn in hell. But I'm thankful that I can still go back to YouTube and watch all your old videos, because they're all there. So you can go back to the beginning and watch all of Tommy's videos. And I was doing a little deep dive today, and you can still find Carnicon videos. You remember Carnicon?
I do. I never met him, but
Dugan Ashley.
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
Ashley Dugan, was it?
I think
Ashley
it's Dugan Ashley,
right?
or Ashley Dugan. I don't know.
Right.
I don't know. It was one or the other. But I had him on the show. He was on the show a couple of times. We had him on back in the day. But I don't know what happened to him. I think he had like health problems or something. I'm not sure.
I've heard conspiracy theories about him.
I hope he's still alive and around and doing well. But if you guys never heard of Carnicon, it's Carnik, I think. Let me look it up here real quick.
Was it kind of like Canik, but with an R? Carnik and then CON. That sound right?
Carniko, Carnicon. Yeah. Carnik and then con. 2 words. Carnic Con.
I just remember some of the dark humor firearms related skits. Maybe one about a gun store. Does that sound familiar?
Very.
And it may not have been on YouTube. It may have been on some other media.
I'm just surprised that they're still on here and that they haven't banned all his videos. But no, you can still go find him.
He's just in a corner of YouTube that YouTube has forgotten about.
Dark space.
To his benefit.
But if you've never watched a Carnicon video, go do it today. It's Carnicon Archive, looks like, is what it's under right now. Is that one video? Let's see.
Yeah.
Oh, here's a bunch of videos right here. Yeah. But yeah, he was hilarious.
If you don't have a sense of, I'm going to say, if you don't have a sense of humor, if you don't have a really twisted sense of humor, this might not resonate.
It's not for children.
No.
Yeah. You got to have a really...
There's some adults it's probably not worthy for either.
Yeah. And I think he's got like warnings that come up at the beginning of them too, that basically says if you're not mature and you can't handle humor, then don't watch this kind of stuff. But yeah.
They were very well crafted. Lots of props.
Lots of explosions.
Yeah.
These were the funniest ones where he would do like old World War I, World War II training videos kind of stuff.
That was back in the day with FPS Russia. I mean, they weren't really in the same league with what they were doing, but if you were to define a kind of a space for YouTube gun videos 10, 12 years ago, you almost put him in the same category. Well, yeah, that's different, but you would hear their channels mentioned in the same sentence or conversation.
Yeah.
For what they did, but yeah, they were out there, I guess is where I'm going with it.
Oh yeah.
2014. Good grief. Wow.
I think that's like the re-release of it too. I think it was sooner than that when this came out. I think this is like the remastered.
Yeah, it looks like they've reposted
remastered version. But so we're going to wrap this episode up with a fact to fight the myth, Tom. So you've got a good one for us.
You just drop it out there?
Just dropping it out there. So this is our fact to fight the myth.
All right, let me find it. It's an old topic, and I've just tried to ignore it. Okay, I'm going to read it. It's 4 couple of sentences and then a quick paragraph.
Sure.
This is from a text, and I didn't tell my friend I was doing this. This is not his words. He took an image from a gun forum, and it's a post that somebody made. I don't know what forum. Okay. Supposedly 3 days ago. When I started reading this post, and again, the person's anonymous.
Sure.
Much to Nikki Haley's chagrin. I'm sorry I had to get that in there. Thank you. So I'm alert. I'm alert. I know what's going on.
You know.
So it's a post about calibers and all this crap, and when I started reading it, I said, I've seen this exact post in another forum like a long time ago. So somebody is recirculating this.
Yeah.
Here's how it reads. And this is the myth. I'm a prior Leo, spent much of my career as a use of force investigator. I could go on and on about how 9mm is not a fight stopper. Lethality is a dance between shot placement and energy, which I agree with. The less energy you have, the better placement is required. This goes sideways. I promise you that few people, even well-trained professionals, are good enough to have exceptional shot placement while being shot at. Okay? Yeah. A torso or upper limb, this is the last sentence. A torso or upper limb hit with a 40, 357 SIG, 45 and on up is far more likely to end the situation than 9mm or below. So that's the statement, and you hear this theme portrayed and stated a lot of different ways,
sure,
in more and fewer words. When I looked at that, he said, "So what are your thoughts?" I'm going, I was doing something else last night when this came through. I was responding to him this morning, and he hasn't responded to me, so I don't know. But I said, look, that's an old statement, and I'll just read my response because that kind of gives you food for thought, and then I'll drop it there. Where the crap is it? There it is. I said, hey, I've seen that exact statement previously. If it was just posted 3 days ago, that's a cut and paste from the original. Either way, it's just too general. He's focusing exclusively on energy. If they want to play that game, given that train of thought, 180 grain 40 will be less effective than 9mm 115 grain plus P plus federal 9B PLE, which is an old school law enforcement ammo. That destroys his 9mm argument. Plus, he's totally eliminating and ignoring the street credentials of 124 plus P gold dot, etc. Bullet construction and momentum are also overlooked. Momentum is something I've been really paying attention to the last few years, which is like hot 147 grain, hot 124 grain, hot 180 grain, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Hot 230 grain. So I'm just going to drop that because that just goes on and on. But it's that type of statement where it's very general, where he's discrediting 9mm. And there's a lot of reasons to discredit 9mm. And I'm a 9mm fan. What gets me about those types of topics and conversations is and that's kind of what got me into this in 2009, coming back to Kevin Bacon 7 Degrees moment, is I wasn't getting enough information for me to believe in the justification of that statement that somebody made. It's like, why are you telling me this? I need more information. That's what I need there. I need more information. Because what you're telling me is very general.
Yeah.
And I can't make a decision on my carry ammo with that. I'm looking for more. And that's where I started. It's like, I'm going to have to create my own data points because I'm not finding what I want online in forums or especially in video. And I really believe in the power of the visual in the video. So that's why I like showing things. And it takes so long to put them together because I think, I can put together a video, and I have, where I don't say a daggum word. It's like, what are you getting out of this as a visual? And there's just, again, I guess because I'm a lifelong learner and a critical thinker, and I question things, and it hasn't run me sideways yet. So
right.
That's kind of what I want to leave it with.
Yeah.
So
I think that's a
question
good one.
things. If you don't understand it, question it. If you want to know more about it, question it. Be curious. And it's amazing how much of that you can accomplish if you're not distracted. So that's why a lot of this crap is like, I have no idea what that is because I'm not paying attention to it. I'm focusing on this. Still having fun with life, but I've got some things I want to focus on. So anyway, that's it.
Very good. Very good. And that will do it for this episode of the Talking Lead podcast. So Leadheads, happy Thanksgiving. And we will be back soon after Thanksgiving. We've got the AK Corner coming up with the AK versus AR episode, our annual battle. And that's going to be a fun one. So that's coming up mid-December. And then we've got several other episodes between now and then that we're going to be dropping towards the end of the year. So be paying attention. We're going to have giveaways. We're going to have special guests. And just like Prentice said, with the Whiskey River, we've got that giveaway and that discount code at Whiskey River Beef, 10% off Leadhead. So, Tommy, happy Thanksgiving, brother. I've missed you.
Happy Thanksgiving to you and to everyone.
I'm glad you're back, brother. We've missed you, so looking forward to having you back on.
It's a check-in.
Until the next episode, Leadheads, as always, keep your loved ones close.
And your firearms closer, but not using 115 grain extreme penetrator for self-defense, except against mountain lions and bears.